Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Franceschi Hall for the opener of the 2026 Humboldt Roller Derby season. Access Humboldt presents Humboldt Roller Derby. Tonight, a doubleheader here from Franceschi Hall. The first game will feature Root Force against the Carquinez Quad Squad. Game 2 will have the Redwood Rollers against the California Derby Galaxy. The first of 6 broadcasts, whether you're listening or watching to KZZH's live broadcast or streaming and watching on Access Humboldt. We're getting ready to go. They say opening day is for baseball, opening night is for opera. Well, opening night is for roller derby too. And it's a big crowd swelling as we speak. The band is here. Carquinez is a team that the Humboldt Roller Derby hasn't played in a couple of seasons, but they have a relationship with. Many Humboldt Roller Derby players go down and skate in a tournament down in Solano County, where the Quad Squad is from. So these teams know each other and are getting ready for game 1, and they're already lining up. So much with the introductions or whatnot. Let's get right into it. People are ready for the season to start. I have a guest broadcaster here. Sash Thrash is with me again. You were with me last season?
I think so, yeah.
I think so, too. The ever-revolving door of color broadcasters that enter the booth. Well, welcome to the 2026 season.
Thank you. So excited.
It is so excited. And what's going on now is a demonstration. There you go. As Latina X is showing what it's like to be a jammer that breaks through the pack. So, does it feel like a new year with only 3 months off in the off season?
Yes. Yeah. We, with our season restructure, I think have really focused on we're now starting the competitive season. So I think we've come into it really hard, really focused. So yes, it does feel like a new season.
So tell me about the restructure of the season.
Really just what part of the season we're going to focus on having really competitive and sanction games. So that's going to be now February through May. We're going to get 2 away tournaments in. We'll take our summer break and then we'll come back in August, start practicing again. And then September, October, November, we'll focus on doing home team games. So our home teams, the North Jetty Betties and the Widowmakers, they'll play competitively, but not sanctioned games against other visiting teams. And then November we'll have the hometown throwdown against ourselves. So we'll end the season with a home team championship game.
And then is there an advantage to doing things that way as opposed to playing sanctioned games all the way through?
Yeah, it can be really stressful, always preparing to play sanctioned games. And we found last season, we did a really competitive tournament coming right out of summer break, and that did not work well for people, both physically for their bodies, also mentally, really getting in that headspace super quickly. And also our league is growing so fast now. We have so many new teammates. So trying to figure out when is appropriate for there to be more of a competitive focus for rostered skaters versus kind of more of a learning and skills opportunity where everybody's kind of getting equal attention. So just splitting it up that way so everybody is kind of getting their needs met in the best way possible.
How many new skaters do you have coming up through the ranks?
Oh my gosh. I wrote something about a summary of 2025. I think we have 13 or 14 new skaters from last year's 2 camps. So we have 50 plus active skaters right now, which is the most we've had since before COVID.
And then when you have a roster that's 50 deep, you break them up into the 2 squads, Root Force and the Redwood Rollers.
Yes.
And then people sit out some games or play some games and kind of pace themselves through the schedule.
Yeah, that's right. So we are at a point where not everybody can get rostered every time. And, sometimes there's injuries. Sometimes people don't want to play for whatever reason. And I think at some point, it'll be maybe you want a roster, but depending on who we're playing and the competitiveness of that game, you might not make the roster. So
No. Go. Keep going.
People are going to start, working hard for those spots. I think that's also the benefit of having our home team season is again an opportunity. Like, oh, if maybe you didn't like play a lot or at all during the competitive season, but you're still always on a home team and you'll always like get to play at that point later on in the season. So.
Okay, the skills development. Now, let me ask this. You were talking about, injured players or getting your bodies together. With only a 3-month layoff for each segment of the schedule, you were off for 3 months since November. Now you're back in February.
Mhm.
You'll be off for 3 months in the summer. Then you'll come back in September. Is that enough time for the bumps and bruises to heal?
I think so. Yeah. I think, I don't know. It's like a balance. I always feel like I guess technically in summer we're off June and July, and we come back August. And 2 months to me feels like too much. I'm like, I want a full month off, but then I want to like get back to it. So yeah, I think so far it's working out mostly for folks.
And when you say we all come to the game in September, but you guys come back in August and run like a training camp or something, or
Exactly.
practices to get back together. When
Yes.
did you start getting together? Did you get together in January?
Yes, yeah. So we took off all of or most of December, and then we came back in January to practice, and now here we are, season opener.
All right. And then tonight's second game is a sanctioned game with a very tough organization, the
Yes.
Derby Galaxy. That's a unique franchise, so to speak, because they are a conglomerate of players that want to play road bouts from a league down in the Bay Area. So
Yes.
that's a very tough match always.
Yes, yeah. Actually, this February last year, we played California Derby Galaxy's A team. We were expecting to lose a lot, and we did. But they wanted to play us, and it was a great experience. And so I think now we're going to be more evenly matched playing against their B team. We're really excited for.
Does
for
that
this
still
game.
help sanction-wise for the Redwood Rollers?
That game last year we didn't play sanction because we knew it was kind of such an uneven match. But we're closer to rankings to their B team, so this will be good. Hopefully, if we end up winning for our rankings, and if they end up winning, it'll be good for theirs too. So.
What about this franchise, the Carquinez Quad Squad?
Yeah, they're a super fun bunch of skaters. They host something for the last few years called the Tomato Jam, which
The
is
Tomato
the
Jam.
Tomato Jam, yeah, down in Vallejo. And it's like it's a scrimmage where like people sign up and like create 5-person teams, and so it's not quite the normal roller derby bout. Each team plays every other team like at least once, and the point scoring's a little different. But they just have a really good time. I mean, you can see they're like all colorful and in costumes and looking really cute. They're really sweet humans, so we love to hang out with them. Very happy to have them here.
So friendly rivals.
Yes, absolutely.
That have come.
Yes.
There you
yes.
go. I think a great name would have been the Carquinez Straits. Kind of like the old beer league softball team we used to play, the Trinidad Heads. Get a little geographic flair into it.
Totally.
The Root Force is being introduced right now to great enthusiasm from our crowd. You say that 2 months off is 2 months. I think 3 months off is too much for this crowd. They miss it.
Yeah, it looks like we have a pretty good turnout for this season opener. I'm sure more folks will continue to trickle in. So,
on a wild and blustery night here in Humboldt County, it's roller derby back at Franceschi Hall. Doesn't get any better than that. And we're here at KZZH 96.7 Eureka Community Radio from Access Humboldt. We've got new underwriters this year, a fantastic group that includes old favorites like the Speakeasy Bar, a New Orleans-inspired custom-built bar, seasonal craft cocktails, fresh local ingredients, live jazz and blues music, and more, located at 411 Opera Alley in Eureka. Did you know that the Speakeasy, because their owner, a Humboldt County person, lives in Minneapolis, did a fundraiser for the people of Minneapolis and they served drinks with no ice.
Oh, I did go one of the evenings that they said that all of their proceeds were going to go to folks in Minnesota and Minneapolis. So I was happy to support that cause.
Happy to support them. Humboldt broadcasts are supported in part by the Humboldt County Office of Elections. They want to remind you that the last day to register to vote for the June 2nd primary is May 18th. So you can check out your voter status at voterstatus.sos.california.gov. And games are supported in part by A to Z Eye Care, dedicated to providing the community with quality vision care through education, technology, and excellent service. We are getting ready for our first jam of the year, and that is Scooby Derby Doo wearing the Jammer star.
Raging Eddie, I think, actually.
Oh, Raging Eddie, who is the captain this year.
Yes. Eddie and Cherry Baumher were voted in as our Roots captains.
So Carquinez will start on the jam line. Root Force moving up behind, and here we go.
Off to a good start.
Off to a good start, and it is Raging Eddie who breaks loose easily from the pack on the outside. It's Gorgasm that is the jammer for the Carquinez Quad Squad. Raging Eddie now here down in the bottom of turn one, taking on the triangle of blockers by Carquinez and breaking loose. And scoring porch. Gorgasm has yet to break loose.
It looks like maybe there has been a star pass to the pivot.
There has been a pass.
We got our first few penalties of the night also, one for each team it looks like.
Okay, so the star was passed, and it's been passed to number 11, Kitty Magic, and the jam has been called off. Humboldt 8-0.
All right, we like a strong start.
A strong start, but right now a little bit of a short squad as we've got two Root Force in the box and one Carquinez player in the box. That is Immoral Combat out there, and some may recognize her as Poetic Justice, a name change from last season. Just two blockers.
But
it's
they're doing
Spins
all
and
right
Needles
right
and
now.
Immoral Combat, and they're doing a great job. And finally, breaking loose is number 66, Hassler. Meanwhile, the Humboldt jammer, Cherry Bomber, the other captain, being driven out. The Hassler goes around on a pass and is scoring for the Quad Squad. Cherry Bomber still hung up down here in the bottom of turn one. Hassler wearing kind of a clown's makeup and breaking loose again. Two passes and points being scored.
Looks like we're maybe going to try to get a star pass here. Cherry's looking for some help from her pivot, but Humboldt's really trying
Spins
to hold
and Needles
down.
to pivot, unable to get back. Meanwhile, great triad on the outside, the triangle of blockers doing a fantastic job trying to hold up Hassler, but Hassler's going to break through.
All right, Cherry got through, kind of, I don't know, made those other blockers, those Carquinez blockers, focus on the pass a little bit and was able to break through with that distraction.
And did not pass the star, wound up keeping it herself. So
and snuck in 1 point, it looks like.
The jam is called off. It goes 8-1 in favor of Carquinez, and they're going to say 9-1. You know, you can never say too fast what the score is because they just keep coming in. But it's a 9-9 start. Into the game here is Poison Envy, number 5,150, which in all the sports I've ever called is the highest number I've ever seen. So here we go. Wow, what a move inside, outside, and breaking loose like a Virgo. That was some very nifty footwork to get through so fast.
Yes, Virgo is an incredible jammer. Really smart, really jukey.
So Smart and Juki. Tell me about Smart and Juki.
Well, really fast on her feet, kind of, smart at looking for those openings, looked for her good offense right there from Malice.
And breaking loose is Virgo.
Looks like maybe also Humboldt is in a power jam.
They are in a power jam because you've got the Carquinez jammer in the box. So this is an unlimited potential to score. Knocked down on the far side by Poison Envy, and having to recycle all the way back is like a Virgo. Virgo starting again and running right back into Envy, and number 87 on that far side, Madzilla. Make that 97. So 7-0 on the score, 16-9. We've gone through 3 jams.
And it looks like the Carquinez jammer's still in the box, but maybe for like 1 second. So Humboldt's going to have to play the quickest offense ever and then really switch to defense really fast.
Okay, so here it is. And when you say that, you mean the Humboldt blockers are going to try to set some sort of screen to bust the jammer loose. That is Scooby Derby Doo.
Yes.
And then go to their defensive responsibilities, and they get it done.
They
get it done.
So now they got to really focus.
Derby Doo on the inside. Clapping. Now, what is the clapping is signaling for what?
Yeah, signaling for some offense. Sometimes the clap kind of means like chaos. Some jammers like a lot of jostling going on, creating chaos.
Okay, chaos it is. Derby Doo coming around again and smashing into that triangle and scoring a will. This is a very impressive run. Scooby Derby Doo. And Scooby Dooby Doo on a third swing around, and now Carquinez tries to come after her and knock her out, but it does not occur. 12-0 run. Fantastic. Meanwhile, there's been no movement for the jammer for Carquinez. Now they finally break loose. But here comes jammer on jammer. It's
like
Glare Bear
getting get a little bit more.
Jam going to be called off, and to me, that's the ultimate. When you get 16
yes.
on one individual jam, I mean, I'm sure there's more, but to me, 16, that is so solid.
That's a really great score. It's true, there are higher points, but that's a really great score, especially when the other team gets no points.
So it's 32-13. May you leave you bleeding in for the Rude Force. Oh, what a hit on the outside. Some big hitting all the way across.
And Malivia is actually an aged up junior. So she used to play on our juniors team, the Saplings. We still, unfortunately, haven't got that program going again. We're really working on it, but.
Oh, what a hit. Crunch time as you look at number 98. That's Michael Lotta. And also driving out, that was number 50, the jammer, Gnarly, being floored. Wow.
So the Roots and the Rollers have been practicing together, but kind of separate these last few weeks in preparation for our games. And watching them right now, I am just so amazed. They're just doing so well, so together, so smart. It's really incredible to see.
Well, let me ask you a question. You come back after 3 months. How long does it take to get the juices flowing? You got to hit someone? You got to get in a tussle somewhere to get it going, to get it flowing?
I mean, we've been scrimmaging a lot. So we do monthly official scrimmages that are free and open to the public. But we've been trying to actually play roller derby every Thursday, full scrimmage, just with, no audience. And yeah, really, the week we came back, we hit it. There was no, let's ease into this. We're just let's go. So I think everyone has really been ready and waiting for this evening, and we're tired of hitting each other. We want to hit some strangers. We want to hit other people.
Raging Eddie breaking through Poison Envy and on the loose. That was a 12-0 run on the back of a 16-0 run So it's 44-13. Gorgasm has broke loose for, I take that back, just Gore for, as the hat was passed, and now calling off the jam is Raging Eddie, a 4-0 run, which means in the last 3 jams, Humboldt has outscored Carquinez 32-0.
Yes, playing again really smart derby, getting lead jammer, making sure to get those points, and then calling it off to prevent Carquinez from scoring.
You know, that's when you have these fast jams. Do you then go into that kind of mode where you strategically call jams off?
Yeah, I think so. Like you know, Rose City out in Portland, they do a lot of like 4-point jams, call it. 4-point jams, call it. You can win a game 2, 3, 4 points at a time.
Cherry Bomber's broken loose for Humboldt, and it's the Hassler for Carquinez. The Hassler sounds like a Dr. Seuss character.
Ooh, some good offense by Carquinez right there.
Yeah, yep, blocking for Hassler. T-Pain goes down trying to stop Hassler. Cherry Bomber, though, is the one that's on a scoring pass right now and gets knocked outside with a big hip check by Madzilla, but was able to stay on the outside now without going out. And right now, Cherry Bomber's racked up 8 points in this jam.
You'll notice that the jam is still going, though, even though Cherry's lead. And what's happening is that Humboldt's trying to clear the penalty box. So even if it means the other team might get some points, sometimes it's advantageous to keep that jam going to try to get all of your blockers out of the box to start stronger in that next jam.
So a 10-8 advantage on that one, 19-27 to go, 58-21. Now, is that easier to do when you have a lead and you can kind of clear them out and get your players back on the rink?
I mean, yeah, it's a risk, right? Like the other Carquinez ended up getting some points, but sometimes it's just, again, better to know that you're starting stronger in the next jam. And if your blockers are really holding down that other jammer and you can keep scoring points and run the clock and get your blockers out, that's the best case scenario.
It's like a Virgo and Clipper. Oh, like a Virgo. Save her for short yardage situations as she blows into raw Carnage. And Carnage goes down. Down goes Carnage. There's going to be a power jam now as down goes Virgo because sent to the box is Glare Bear. So Virgo, a little wobbly, coming around turn 1, getting ready for a scoring pass, going to be led into the fray by Kiss and Tell. And engaged on the far straightaway, pushing, and Envy taking it to Virgo there in turn 4. Virgo's still up, man. You talk about pushing the sled. Look at this effort. And we're going to have a penalty called on Envy.
We're getting a couple penalties. So Humboldt didn't move up fast enough. There was a no pack situation. And if you're the skaters in the back, you got to move a little forward. And the ones in front have to stop engaging. And Humboldt didn't quite move up fast enough. So couple penalties there.
Glare Bear is in a scoring round right now. Virgo looking a little banged up, I'd have to say, after a couple of hard falls and a third hard fall. And also falling is Glare Bear, knocked down by Immoral Combat. Combat knocking Glare Bear out again. Glare Bear finally up, but didn't cycle back. Here's Virgo calling off the jam.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was, maybe that should have been a cut, or because their skates were in, they didn't actually go out of bounds.
A 16-7 advantage. Whatever the call was, the bottom line is this. Humboldt has won every jam. And we have had 7 jams so far. Here's the 8th jam of the night, 16:46 to go. And a big lead for the Root Force, coming out strong, like they wanted to hit someone else too.
Yes. That's what I mean. Our whole team is ready to hit somebody else besides each other.
League beware, get the memo. Scurby-dooby-doo, and let's see who it is for The
Nice hit from Beans. Ooh, big hit
the
back
quad
though.
squad, it's gnarly. Derby Do to the inside with a good move. We've got one going to the penalty box. You've actually got two root force in the penalty box right now. Derby Do doing a good job staying in and breaking through. There was a hit check by Lady Blaze that didn't come off, and Derby Do is loose. Meanwhile, Gnarly, feeling anything but, is being suffocated by the Humboldt defense, and Derby Do is the one that smashes in to the back of the pack. And Derby Do breaks loose again. A very impressive skate for Scooby Derby Do, as seemingly scoring at will.
I don't think Scoob skated as a junior, but she is very young, pretty freshly 21. So we do have a lot more younger skaters this season, which is awesome to see. They get up off the ground so fast. Those fresh knees, man.
Derby, she outscored 16-0 in her first jam, 12 to do there. She's a 28-2 advantage on the night, 86-30. Yes. I remember Derby Do came in the fall.
Yes.
For the first time, and you introduced new skaters then, and was very impressed with the jamming ability of Derby Do.
Yes, we call her Scoobs.
Scoobs?
Scoobs.
All right. All right, Scoobs. You know, there's the nicknames, and then there's the nicknames for the nicknames.
Yes. Yeah, you kind of get what you get. Malivia Bleedin was out there. We've been calling her Yaya.
Well, I'll have to get this roster, too.
Yeah. The nickname roster.
It's the same roster, but not really. It's like ordering off the menu.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, the secret menu.
The secret menu.
Yeah, the first day that Immortal Combat told us their new name, one of our coaches accidentally called them Wombat. So now we call them Combat, but now they have a second nickname of Wombat.
There you go. Immoral Wombat.
Yes.
I like that. It leaves a lot more to the imagination.
Indeed.
Now you gotta like the Carquinez quad squad coach.
Yes.
Is dressed in the
Unicorn
now would that be
onesie.
unicorn
The
onesie, unicorn coverall, unicorn?
That's a onesie.
The onesie with the horn though.
I know,
Come on.
and the tail. They
There
got a
you
couple
go.
of them. They got their little corn squad.
Here we go. It's Gore and
Yaya.
Yaya. And Yaya breaks loose. There was a chase by Carnage, but Yaya too fast. And on the inside, are they going to take that lane? They do. And a great job there by Torque and Beans. Now, that was great offense.
That really
Almost like a
was.
pulling guard to get Yaya through. The root force are a skater down. Now two skater downs as T-Pain is going to the box.
Woo.
And we've got some action coming up here. Here's Poison Envy, who's been given the star and scoring some points. Yaya into the heart of the quad squad defense. Poison Envy coming around. Torque and Beans with a hip check. Another hip check there by Griselda.
Yes, Grizz.
Grizz.
Griselda. We call her Grizz for short.
And so the jam is going to be called off. A rare jam that Humboldt didn't win. 8-8 draw on that one. 94-38, 13-34 to go. I need one of those, the markers that we used to do with the college textbooks.
Like
and
the
then,
dry erase
yes,
situation.
and then I can just put Grizz or, that kind of thing.
Yes, yeah.
There you go. So pushing here. Wow, Raging Eddie. Raging Eddie was bottled up behind Hassler at the jam line and then saw an opening, and Raging Eddie is quick
Yes.
and
yes,
able
she
to
is.
get through. Raging Eddie to the inside.
Really good offense there.
Bouncing off Michelada and then calling the jam off before Hassler ever has a chance to score. And that's that kind of death by 1,000 cuts offense. 4-0 on that jam.
Looks like there was maybe a last-minute penalty. So there's 2 in the box for Humboldt.
That's a horrible metaphor, though. We don't want to use that one again.
Which what?
The death by 1,000 cuts. We want to refrain. I'm sorry. There's children in the audience.
Perhaps on the live stream. We don't know.
We don't know. Glare Bear breaks through first. Cherry Bomber second. Cherry Bomber, the hand in the back, looking like one of the speed skaters you've seen in the Olympics. Chasing Glare Bear. Glare Bear coming in. Oh, nice hit. Good contact there with Griselda Grizz.
But Grizz stayed up, and Malice came right up front to get a second hit on that jammer. So really, really good teamwork there. Really good stableness on the skates.
There you
Everyone
go. And
doing a
for the
great job.
first time tonight, a victorious jam, but just 3-2. That's not going to catch up anytime fast. 98-41. It's been a big, impressive half for Root Force.
Yes.
There's Virgo smiling, waiting to accept the challenge. Gore for Carquinez. Oh, nice footwork by Virgo on the outside, dancing along the line, and Gore breaks loose as well. So all of the blockers locked and loaded and ready to go here in the bottom of turn 1. And wow, Gore goes down. And also out, it looks like there may have been a penalty called on. Nope, jam was called off.
Jam was called
I
off,
thought they
yeah.
may have called a penalty there on Virgo for a second.
What'd you see? What kind of penalty?
The exact infraction?
Yeah. What did
Look.
you?
Something tricky and nefarious. I don't know. What do they call that one? What is the most frequent call on a jammer?
On a jammer, probably a cut track.
A cut track. It wasn't a cut track. Hey, speaking, there's Scoobs. Scoobs breaks loose again really fast. Looking to pass the Star. Oh, Scoobs knocked out by Envy down here in turn 1 as the quad squad looking to pass the Star. But the pivot, Envy, had knocked out Scoobs and tried to recycle her back, so they didn't have an opportunity to pass.
Ooh.
There's some action there as Hassler goes down with T-Pain in turn 2. Meanwhile, Scoobs, unbothered by what's going on in front and behind her, going ahead and taking on the skater number 13, Kim Reaper, and still on a scoring run. Well, the Hassler hasn't really ever broken loose, nor has passed that Star. Driven to the ground
Looks like
on the
we
far
finally got a
straightaway.
Star pass.
There you go. The Star has been passed to Envy. Scoops, though, still on a run. 7-0 going to call off the jam.
Carquinez managed to squeeze in 1 point there.
They did manage 1 point, which means now the advantage for Scoobs in their 3 jams, 35-3.
You're keeping track of all the Scoops points tonight.
I'm
impressed with
I
that.
could defy any medical study.
I love that. We probably need your skills
No,
somewhere
yeah,
in our league for this exact thing.
Well, and there's Yaya breaking loose.
On that line, so clean.
You know, the roller derby and then also breaking loose Glare Bear, there is an absence of statistical data. And maybe that's on purpose. Yaya breaking loose with some fine footwork inside, outside. And there's a call, and
Carquinez,
Glare Bear is going to go to the box. So it's a power jam.
They got a blocker and their jammer in the box, so this is really good for Humboldt right now.
And Yaya taking advantage.
Looks like Humboldt's going to call it off. This is another strategy Um, they've locked the Carquinez jammer in the box, so they're gonna have a power start the next jam with the jammer and the other jammer in the box, and a blocker down for Carquinez.
Well,
So
explain that to me. I understand the advantage of a power start. Is that why that jam was really called off from the bench? That was
yes,
not the decision of Yaya to call that off. There's a timeout, and this is a
and
this is a runaway start. It couldn't have been scripted any better. Looking fantastic, root force 121.43.
yes, and most of the jams are called off from the bench.
Oh,
So
really?
jammers can take some liberties on their own, but we tend to ask them to look to the bench. Because one, they can kind of get the one track mind of like, I gotta go, 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 but we want them to call it off. And maybe they're feeling like, oh, I should be calling it off, but we actually want them to wait because we gotta clear that box.
So
That's why we have the turn two coach over there and the coaches on the bench trying to make sure they're listening for their cues of what to do when.
are there some jammers that are given more leeway as to whether they want to call it off or not? Or is everybody under the same system?
The expectation is to kind of look to your bench, but things happen, jammers, I think really experienced jammers, might have some of their own strategy going on and the bench might tell them to call it, but they think they've got one more run in, and sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't, but
So Raging Eddie is the only jammer on the track right now and easily pushing through. Great job by Latinx Turner to go ahead and throw an offensive block out there and
yes,
spring Eddie. Now Glare Bear is back, but
coming in hot too.
both of them are coming in hot. And down here in turn one, and Eddie is doing a fantastic job pushing and shoving. And oh, man, they're coming in hot. Glare Bear is finally breaking loose, but now here's Eddie for a scoring pass on the inside and bumped out by Carnage. And it would have seemed that Eddie would have cut the track there, and they did. And Eddie's going to be sent to the box for cutting the track. So Glare Bear on the power jam now. That was Torque and Beans trying to throw a hip check on the far straightaway. And looks like it got a piece of Glare Bear a bit, a little wobbly, but now coming around for their scoring pass. Far straightaway and right through.
Yeah,
right through.
These are where things can start to change, right? You get a couple jams where maybe your jammer goes to the box, a couple of your blockers go to the box, and all of a sudden the other team's scoring the 12 to 16 points.
So setting up offensively is the quad squad, and there are players down, including the jammer, Glare Bear. Finally, jammer Raging Eddie coming back, recycling back through turn number 4 and back on the track. So each team with a jammer now, no power jam, and it's Eddie that breaks loose.
And Eddie went to the box, and she was lead, so they're in a 2-minute jam, and I do believe this is our first 2-minute jam of the game.
There you go. Now, because Eddie went to the box and came back and only has a limited time to score, is that why it becomes a 2-minute jam? Or when a jammer comes out, is it automatically a 2-minute jam?
Yeah, so if the lead jammer goes to the box, they lose their ability to call off the jam, and so now it is a 2-minute jam. And because the other jammer didn't get lead, they couldn't call it off to begin with, so you get those full 2 minutes.
Well, we have one of the highest scoring exchanges that we've seen. Rarely do you see a 12-12 tie on a jam, but that's exactly what we had, and it's 133-55 with 5:30 to go here in the period. Coming down to the bottom of the hour, want to thank Rennie Law for providing legal services to public agencies throughout California, practicing law in the public interest. We also want to thank the Tangle Tiki, new for us this year, the fabulous salon home of hair artist Taylor Depew. The Tangle Tiki in Eureka at 823 3rd Street, available by appointment only. And Cafe Brio is in there as well. I want to thank them.
I might have to leave you when we've got about 2 minutes left, so I'm going to have to do my off skates warm up during halftime. But then I'll come
Because you're
back.
in game 2.
I'm in game 2.
Now, let me ask you this. Is it, do you feel more engaged being a color broadcaster in game 1 and getting ready for game 2?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I just love being here. Anything, everything Derby. I love watching Derby, talking about Derby. I'm excited to play. Tonight will be my first game with the rollers since I broke my ankle last May.
That's right. You were
really
out.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
worked hard, I bet.
Yeah. I got a couple of games in last season, but they were a couple just against us and less competitive. So excited to really go hard tonight.
And then how will you start? I mean, you want to just get on the rink and just go for the first person you see and
Well, I gotta play smart, gotta play together with my pack. So yeah, I'm not gonna go rogue or anything, but
no.
It'll be nice when I do get that first hit in.
You know, 50 years ago when I played football, that was the great thing about being on the kickoff team. You just look for someone, you run and hit, just like you get the baptism under fire kind of thing.
That's, I feel, how our offensive skaters are. We tend to, skate a lot with a tripod and one offense skater. And that offense is always let me just go hit somebody as soon as I can.
There you go. 5:19 to go. It's 133-55. It has been an extraordinarily impressive start by Root Force. Maybe the best seen Root Force ever look, to be honest. I mean, they're so ready. Whatever they did in camp to get them ready this year, they are raring to go. Cherry Bomber is going to be the jammer for Humboldt. There are 2 players in the box. The pivot is in the box for Carquinez, and meaning that they can't pass a pivot should their jammer get gummed up here at the line. And here we go. That's for Carquinez. It's number 50, Gnarly. And Cherry Bomber breaks loose and avoids a hip check as ready to be the lead jammer. Knocked out is Gnarly. There's 2 players in the penalty box for the quad squad. And Cherry Bomber evaded Carnage down here in turn 1. And we're now on a power jam as Gnarly has been sent to the penalty box. So Carquinez has all their blockers on the rink, but not their jammer. Cherry Bomber, the lead jammer on this jam, and also the only jammer on the rink. Breaking through and calling off the jam.
Yep, keeping that Carquinez jammer in the box for now. So another advantageous start for Humboldt. Full blockers on the track and a power start. I think they've got Virgo out there. Very smart move to go with Virgo as a jammer with no one else to compete against right now. So
will you? Okay, you're on the bench and you're the coach. Might you try a different jammer, maybe in out of the rotation, if you think, wow, this jammer is best to go now in a power jam?
Absolutely, yeah. In a power jam or the last jam of the game, I think coaches definitely take those strategic liberties to say, let's put in the strongest packs, the strongest jammer to get the most points while we've got this opportunity.
Well, breaking loose is Virgo. Outstanding offensive blocking by the blockers for the Rollers. And then Virgo was knocked down, and we may have a corner that was cut, and we do.
I saw
Virgo's going to the box. Yeah, you can see it happening. You're like, oh, no, here this comes. Gnarly back on the track. Can't be the lead jammer, but they are in a power jam. There's another Root Force going to the box, and now the pivot was passed, or excuse me, the star was passed to the pivot, but the pivot has been sent to the box. You can't have a game with no jammer. What's going on here?
No, so they've let
Here
Virgo
comes
out
Virgo.
now.
Get out of jail free card. Virgo cycles back and breaks
Good
through.
offense.
Wow.
Yes, breaks through. Good offense from T-Pain and Grizz.
Now T-Pain is returning to the team this bout.
Yes, yeah. T-Pain had some injuries. T-Pain started as a jammer and is now blocking, but we're really happy to have her back.
It looks like T-Pain is happy to be back.
Yes.
So Virgo has broke loose. It's 2:20 to go in the half. 149 to 55. We've got both jammers on the rink now. This is Gore, who did not start as the jammer, started as the pivot.
And it looks like they're being told that they are not, in fact, the jammer. So they've had the star, but I think initially when it was first passed, it was not a good star pass. So they just did give it back to the jammer.
So Gnarly, in one of these now you see it, now you don't moments, and the jam is being called off.
Okay, that's my cue.
That's it. That's all for you.
Well, no, I'll be back after halftime. But
you promise?
Yes, I promise. I gotta go warm up off skates, and then I'll come
you
back.
go
And then I
warm
have
up.
to leave you early again to put my skates on for game 2.
Okay.
I don't know if the whole stream needed to know that, but
Sasha
everyone, I'll
Thresh.
be back. Don't
We're just
panic.
lucky to have you anytime we can get you.
I'm always happy to be here. Thank you.
13-0 was that last, and now here's Scoobs back on the rink going against the Hassler. 1:11 to go. They say Sasha Thrash was just telling us that you saved the jammer for the end of the half, and Scoobs is the perfect one the way that they've scored tonight, but it's the Hassler that breaks loose. Hassler coming around, Hassler down the track and breaking into the pack down here in turn 1, and the Hassler breaks through. So this is the first time tonight that Scoops has been a jammer that they have been outscored. We've got about 30 seconds to go in the half. You've got coaches giving instructions all over. The Hassler's going to call off the jam. And for the first time tonight, Scoops is outscored in any jam. They had a 35-3 advantage. Still it's 35-7 because a 6-0 run. So 154-61. Clock is ticking down. 9 seconds to go in the half. I don't know if they're going to get Jam 19 off the line, and it doesn't look like it, or does look like it. They did get them out? No. Official time is called. Well, there you go. 154-61 in favor of Root Force, one of the most impressive halves we have seen from the Root Force since we've been the official broadcast location for Humboldt Roller Derby. 154-61. We'll be back for the second half of this game. We'll be back with Sasha Thrash, and we'll give you the second half of Redwood Rollers and the Quad Squad.
It sounds fantastic.
Really?
I was driving in, I was
love Sasha Thrash. I want to talk to her, though, about we got to be careful.
yeah, no, I can see the points where you know,
Careful.
no, I mean, where, it was kind of like, anyway, talk about it later, but, yeah, it sounded great. I was engaged. I was really engaged.
For them, really good. I think Sasha Thrash is great.
Welcome to the KZZH Community Calendar for the week starting Friday, February 20th, 2026. On Friday, February 20th, you are invited to the Humboldt Circus Red Cross fundraiser starting at 6 p.m. at the Gootsrock Student Activity Center at Cal Poly Humboldt, 1 Harp Street in Arcata. This is a fundraising circus show with burlesque, clowning, juggling, and other variety acts and free pizza. All proceeds will be donated to the Red Cross. Also on Friday, roll on over to Public Skate from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. at the Fortuna Skating Rink in Roner Park's Fireman's Pavilion. The public skate sessions may close early if there is no one in attendance. Go to friendlyfortuna.com for more information. On Saturday, February 21st, stock up on groceries at the Arcata Farmers Market from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the Arcata Plaza at 9th and G Streets. The Farmers Market happens year-round and offers fresh produce, meat, fish, cheese, eggs, bread, flowers, plus live music and hot food vendors. No pets, but trained ADA-certified service animals are welcome. CalFresh EBT customers receive a market match at every farmer's market. Email info@northcoastgrowsassociation.org 441-9999 to find out more. Also on Saturday, come out for the Volunteer Trail Stewards Workday from 9 to 11 a.m. on the Eureka Waterfront Trail North, Tide Street to the Adorney Center. Meet at the corner of 1st and X Streets every third Saturday for trash cleanup, invasive plant removal, and basic trail maintenance, such as cutting back grass and shrubs to keep the trail clear. Email vtscoordinator@humtrails.org or call 707-601-7809 to find out more. Finally, on Saturday, the Bike Library is open from 12 to 4 p.m. at the Bike Library, 1286 L Street in Arcata. Get hands-on repair lessons and general maintenance, plus used bicycles and parts for sale. Donation of parts and bicycles gladly accepted. Email arcatabilicelibrary@riseup.net for more information. On Sunday, February 22nd, don't miss nature journaling at the Arcata Marsh starting at 10 a.m. at the Arcata Marsh and Wildlife Sanctuary Interpretive Center, 569 South G Street. No pre-registration is required, but sessions are limited to the first 10 people. All ages are welcome if they can concentrate quietly for an extended period. Heavy rain will cancel, clipboards and colored pencils will be provided. Please bring a notebook, journal, or other paper and a writing implement and wear weather-appropriate clothing. Email info@arcatamarshfriends.org or call 707-826-2359 to find out more. Also on Sunday, stop by the community breakfast from 8 to 11:30 a.m. at the Ferndale Veterans Memorial Building, 1100 Main Street. There will be pancakes, biscuits and gravy, ham, sausage, eggs to order, coffee, and juice. On Monday, February 23rd, check out the formal dress swap from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Jean Lucas Community Center, 3000 Newburgh Avenue in Fortuna. Bring in your gently used dresses and or pick up a new one for free. You don't need to bring anything to take a new dress. Email layla@glccenter.org for more information. On Tuesday, February 24th, you're invited to the Humboldt Stamps Collectors Club from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Humboldt Senior Resource Center, 1910 California Street in Eureka. New collectors and experts are welcome. Learn about stamps, collecting, and see local experts in stamps who will share their collections. Email humstampclub@gmail.com to find out more. Also on Tuesday, it's English Express, an online English language class for adults. Build English language confidence in ongoing online and in-person classes. All levels and first languages are welcome. Join anytime and pre-registration is not required. Email englishexpressempowered.com or call 707-443-5021 to find out more. On Wednesday, February 25th, there will be a Healthcare for All and Physicians for a National Health Program meeting from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at the Creamery District, 1251 9th Street in Arcata. The meeting is available every month by Zoom. Contact healthcareforallhumboldt@gmail.com for the Zoom link and more information. To submit your nonprofit event to the KZZH community calendar, go to kzzh.accesshumboldt.net and follow the community calendar link located near the top of the page. Your event information will be read twice a day, at noon and 5 p.m. on weekdays and at noon on the weekends. Your event information will also be shared on Access Humboldt TV's bulletin board. Access Humboldt, local voices through community media. For KZZH in Eureka, I'm Isabella Vanderheyden.
Rock Media.
Back here at Franceschi Hall for the season opener. 154-61 at halftime. Route Force looking as powerful as I've ever seen them, taking on the Carquinez quad squad. I'm here with Matt Knight, the executive producer of these broadcasts, a broadcast that was a finalist for a Western a Wave Award. What is it? Western Alliance of
Community media, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
We missed it by that much.
A finalist. Are you unbelievable that these broadcasts have taken off in the popularity that they have. Second half coming up.
A lot of excitement in the house tonight here.
You know,
Great crowd.
What's that old saying? Opening day is for baseball and opening night is for opera. I think opening night is for roller derby, too.
I agree.
It is packed. The crowd came in, and they've been ready. And Route Force has fed off the energy all the way. They're coming back onto the rink now and getting ready. Teams switch benches for the second half. So the Route Force will take the bench that is in turn number 4. I don't know if that gives you any strategic advantage per se. That means that they'll put their coaches in turns 1 and 4, while the quad squad will have them in 3 and 1. Quad squad coaches from the bench dressed in the unicorn onesies.
Love it.
You
I love it. Yeah.
Rarely see that. Turning into a sporting event and seeing the leaders of the squad in the onesies. But you got to know that roller derby is different than most any sport that you're able to see. You know, I was talking to someone earlier this month, and they asked me, they said, describe roller derby, you know? And I said, in a word? And they said, sure. And I said, effort. The effort that it takes to do that, the people's effort that it takes to get this thing going. I mean, it's extraordinary effort for us to get it on the air, but for these folks to organize this franchise, to have the practices and get ready, to produce these games, to have the army of volunteers it takes to have a bout and to have this good a scene on a Saturday night in Humboldt County. It's just extraordinary.
It's such a great organization. You know, it's a community, something the community puts up and does a really great job with, and people just love it.
They do. And they have really kind of refined and defined their schedule this year. It's going to be important sanctioned bouts in this part of the season, including a couple of away tournaments. So that's going to be exciting for the Humboldt Roller Derby. And in the meantime, they're going to look at player development in the fall, player development that's been very fruitful. They now have 50 skaters on a roster, meaning, you know, everybody's not skating for every bout, and competitive practices and scrimmages to make the jump from the Route Force to the Redwood Rollers. So the program is in great shape, the best shape it's been since before the pandemic. So outstanding to them for building up their organization.
Very exciting.
And, you know, a near award-winning broadcast to show the folks what's going on.
Next year for sure.
I want it. I want it. And I also want to talk to all the play-by-play announcers out there in the United States. Do you ever have to have a different or a different color broadcaster that you don't even know who it's going to be before every game? That is a classic. So we're getting ready to go here in the second half. And interestingly enough, the second half starts out with Route Force having a jammer in the box. So this is Gore pushing forward on a power jam for the quad squad. Great job by Latina X in the triangle defense there. What a tremendous job holding Gore out. And then finally Gore breaks it down. A big hit from Memorial Combat. Mortal Kombat, who's come back as a blocker, was Poetic Justice, the jammer. And then finally breaking loose is Gore, but out of the box is Scoobs. And it's jammer on jammer down in turn 2. And now up to meet the pack, both sets of blockers in the turn number 3. And it's a scrum over there. Skates and elbows and pads flying. And it's Scoob that's knocked out, recycling back, and then gets past Carnage. And Scoob isn't the lead jammer, but now the jammer that is in the forefront and ready to score, and that's why Gore's going to call off the jam. Carquinez will get the first 4 points of the half. Let's see if any more are awarded. One thing I've learned in this, do not call the score right when they call off the jam, because more points magically float in.
Yes, they do.
So
It's a qualitative analysis, I think.
yeah, it's going to be Virgo and Hassler, it looks like, for the quad squad. Hassler doing a great job pushing forward. Wow. Torque and Beans tries to come up and make one big hit, and there's a great play by number 222, Hiss and Tell. Meanwhile, Virgo is broke loose, and Virgo is on the loose, smashing into the line of blockers. Hassler coming up. T-Pain making a play. And looks like the jam is called off. Oh, look who's back.
Have returned.
So Humboldt 3-1 on that exchange, making it 157-66. Glare Bear comes out, and Raging Eddie. Those are going to be your jammers for the quad squad and Root Force, respectively. You know who's played a good game is Latina X.
Yes.
Powerful.
In practice, been watching her do some really great offense and blocking.
Raging Eddie breaks loose. I will say this. 2 players that you had last year at Jammer, Latina X did some jamming a bit, and so did Poetic Justice. Now they're as blockers, and they've both been terrific tonight as blockers.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes it's a really easy transition. Sometimes it's a little bit harder, but I think they're both incredible at all the things, which is really convenient and awesome and good for our team.
Makes the team deeper. The jam was called
Yes.
off with no scoring. It was odd for that to occur. It's going to be Virgo and Gnarly. Gnarly's had a tough time getting off the blocks tonight. Virgo has been outstanding. And
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup. I think if I was on the Carquinez bench, I would have picked a different jammer to go out against Virgo.
now, once you see them once, don't you have an idea of the kind of matchup that you have?
Yeah. And sometimes, it's just you don't want to change that rotation. It just doesn't work out in time. People on the bench are managing a lot of things, so.
Virgo took a big hit from Envy right down here in turn 1 and then just plowed over Envy and is now the lead jammer and out on their own. They're coming up to the pack and cutting inside.
Good offense.
Wow. Humboldt blockers were engaged with the quad squad, and it's as if they just diverted their attention, and Virgo was able to cut inside. Now, they cut the jam short. They called it off. 4 points for Humboldt, 161-66. Now, you can't come back from this score.
100 points. If Carquinez just got lead jammer every jam and got 4 points each jam, then yes, maybe they could.
No.
But unlikely at this point.
Unlikely.
They could definitely close the gap. That was a beautiful little jump on the outside line by Scoobs. She's not lead jammer, but she's going to try to get Carquinez.
Jammer on jammer action. Gore in front, going to call up the jam before there's ever any contact or any points being scored. Wow.
It seems like the Carquinez jammer tried to call it. but I think maybe she's not lead.
Oh,
I don't actually.
but I thought she was the
I
lead.
did
think that call
too.
was missed.
Yeah, something happened, but
Now
Scoops is being indicated as the lead jammer.
and
So
Scoops is on a power jam
yes,
because Gore has gone to the box, and so tonight's leading scorer. I mean, if they're giving out points for the game or awards for jammer of the night, I vote Scoops. She has been fantastic.
yes, she's had a really great night.
Calling off the jam at 12-0. I've still got it right here, 47-9.
That's incredible.
There you go.
Her points and your brain, both incredible.
I don't know about that. Her points, more so. So 173-66. Got some jawing at the line going on. I wonder what that's about. Carnage and Torque and Beans. Does it ever get a little feisty? I thought everybody's always so mellow with each other.
A fun feisty. Beans is pretty good friends with several of the Carquinez skaters. She was the first one of any of us to go to their tomato jam event, and several of us have like since followed. So yeah, I think all friendly out there.
Have you been to the tomato jam?
Yes, I was supposed to go this year. I couldn't make it. Ooh,
Yaya with a terrific move on the outside.
But I went last year, and we had two Humboldt teams there, and the one I skated with got third place, I think.
Yaya's knocked out and has to cycle back. Meanwhile, Gore, who's doing another shift and breaking loose. Now it's jammer on jammer, and it's going to be Yaya calling it off.
Yeah.
4-0 run there.
Yaya just like bounces off blockers. Like she's just so kind of Gumby like, which is awesome. People like hit her, but she really knows how to like absorb that momentum and use it to her advantage to get around or to stay in bounds.
I personally like, as a fan, the jammers that kind of dart in and out and have the ability, like Eddie just did. Oh, knocked out beautifully by Michaelata, but have that vision, able to see holes,
Yes.
able to break loose like Eddie just did on the outside, and are quick. That line plunge kind of move doesn't move me as much as some of this incredible footwork. And,
Yes.
and Raging Eddie is that kind of jammer. And
Yes. We have a lot of jammers, I feel like, now that have really great footwork, that are that kind of jammer, where they're dancing on the lines. And less so of the like really pushy ones. We still have a few: Clover Kill, Chakra Punch, Cherry Bomb Her, but we got a lot of like fast, dancey, jukey jammers now.
Fast,
dancey, jukey jammers.
Fast, dancey, juicy.
3 times fast.
You know what? Fast, dancey, juicy jammers. You know what I like about coming to roller derby?
Huh.
There's always new vocabulary. It's
Jukey?
unbelievable. Jukey. We had
Jukey.
Jukey tonight. Jukey, juicy jammers.
Jukey, juicy jammers.
Triple J. 185-66 after an 8-0 jam. This vocabulary lesson brought to you. Oh, here we go. Here's the old line plunge cherry bomber.
Yes.
Nothing fancy here. Some good
Solid,
old-fashioned.
reliable,
Right.
blowing through people.
That's right. Yeah.
Like so.
And straight ahead. There you go. There you go. Oh, the bulldozer move.
Indeed, yes.
But there's some great pushing and shoving by the Cherry Bomber delivering the blow, leaving quad squads in her wake. But some great work up front. And I will say this. I get the feeling that the Root Force blockers, because of the incredible job that the Jammers have done, have been on offense a lot more tonight than just defense.
Yes, absolutely.
Torque and Beans just leveled Glare Bear, and then Glare Bear returns the favor. All that action happened in the far turn.
I thought for a minute Cherry was getting that forearm, and that would have been so unfortunate, but it was not her.
Claire Bear waving to the crowd. T-Pain has gone to the box. A 10-0 run, 195-66 with 19:30 to go here in the half. A certainty that Root Force is going to get over 200 points tonight.
It seems like it. And that's just such a good way to start the season. Really good for the morale. Really nice to like score a lot of points and win.
So after the game, when the team was talking about the games, wow, Carnage driving Virgo out. Gnarly up against Virgo. That has been a very lopsided matchup all night.
But Virgo's been doing great. Again, sort of using her momentum and the force of the other skaters to her advantage.
Virgo on the outside. Carnage with a good drop back move, but unable to contain Virgo, who becomes the lead jammer. Gnarly with no choice but to try to pass the star, which they do to Envy. T-Pain leading the way. You're listening to KZZH 96.7 Eureka Community Radio from Access Humboldt. We've got a break in the action here as the jam is called off 4-0. This broadcast is underwritten by the Speakeasy Bar, New Orleans-inspired custom-built bar, seasonal craft cocktails and other local ingredients, located at 411 Opera Alley, and the office, the Humboldt County Office of Elections. They want to remind us to register to vote for the June 2nd primary. You can do that by May 18th. You can check your voter status at voterstatus.sos.california.gov. And A to Z Eye Care, dedicated to providing community with quality vision through education. Wow, got that in. Got to pay the bills. All right. Jam number 10, 1749.
There is an official timeout. I'm not sure what's going on, but
They should have called that timeout before I felt rushed to read all that would have been better. I'm here with Sasha Thresh, Paul Brasou at Franceschi Hall.
oh, it looks like her the jammer for Carquinez, her number is rubbed off. So refs have got to be able to call your number, know who you are.
There
And,
you go.
that was kind of a nice thing that they did, because you can get a penalty for that. If you're playing without your numbers visible, they can call you. So they, did her a solid and just stopped the jam, let her get her numbers on. And
Now, do you have to have your number on your jersey as well as on your arm?
yes, yeah, because there's refs on the outside, there's refs on the inside. They can't always see from the back. They're most usually seeing you from the side. So
It's like being the announcer and not being able to see who the jammers are.
yes, exactly.
Exactly. 199.66. Have you ever thought about going to a longer sleeve shirt to
To just have the numbers on.
Yeah.
I have armbands, so I don't write mine on. I do have armbands. And I thought about the t-shirt. It feels like it would be too hot. It gets so sweaty playing roller derby.
Okay, there you go. It's Scoobs with a great move on the inside, and Gore is chasing. Gore is trying to keep up with Scoobs tonight, but Scoobs has been too tough. Once again, Humboldt on offense, doing a great job. Scoobs kind of misread that and is going to call off the jam. I think the move would have been to the inside, but went to the outside that time.
Yeah, sometimes you miss your offense. That's okay. I think Gore is doing a really great job. I would say probably MVP jammer for Carquinez tonight.
But the problem is that
Our blockers are really good.
yes, and
They're
as well
holding
as,
those jammers.
as she's done, I mean, Scoobs has just had a lights out night,
Yes.
a breakout night.
Yes, literally breaking out of the pack.
So Virgo,
So similar number issue, and this time they just said, we're not stopping, you've got to get off. So Carquinez is now down a blocker, unfortunately.
there you go. And then you've got Hassler pushing, and Virgo's the one that's going to break through and become the lead jammer.
Oh, such a good hit from Tina.
Latinx with a great job knocking Hassler to the inside. Here comes Virgo. coming up against two blockers. And Poison Envy, who's played a good game for the quad squad, driving Virgo out to the outside, recycling back, and now cutting in. Both jammers are on the loose and calling off the jam. Humboldt playing, kind of taking the air out of the ball here a little bit. They got a player in the penalty box. Okay, I'm going to ask a cultural question.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be better for all teams to have the armbands, because so many players are tattooed, you can't see the
Yeah.
number?
Yeah, I hate writing. I like Sharpie's so hard to get off. I don't know why everybody doesn't have armbands. Preferences. That's
There
what
you
makes
go.
the world go round. But yeah, I think armbands or shirts with numbers are ideal in my opinion
There we go.
for many reasons.
Now, and I'm glad you're able to take those stances.
Yeah.
Glare Bear is going to be the lead jammer. Raging Eddie
Wow.
was caught up and still being hassled by Michael Dowda and breaking loose. But coming up for a scoring pass is Glare Bear, met by a trio of Humboldt blockers, and then driven out, and I believe calling off the jam. Boy, Raging Eddie took a hard shot and down on the knees. How are the knees after a night of this?
They're sore. They're just sore all the time.
Not to,
Creaky when you wake up in the
well, that's what I
morning.
was going to ask, and I don't want to get
Uh,
personal, but waking up tomorrow.
It's yeah. I mean, you'll feel it. Oh, we got okay.
So 2:05:68, jam number 14. We've got a little bit over 14 minutes in the half, and that's Virgo,
Yep.
who's
on
also
lead
been a real
again.
breakout star in the mismatch of the night with Gnarly. And Virgo breaking to the outside. Carnage is going to try to hold them up, but they can't. And Virgo is on another scoring run.
Man, some excellent single blocking by Tina right now.
Tina has
Really
been
good.
amazing. Tina might be the blocker of the night.
I think so. Yeah, some really great work.
Gnarly has finally broken loose. I can't
Ooh.
remember Gnarly ever scoring. Speaking of Gnarly, there's a crash in turn 4 and turn 1 and down a third time. My God, it's biblical. The three falls of Virgo. And
Sometimes I'm glad they had her call that off. Sometimes you see those just like pink
Oh. just
bless
bouncing back.
our jammers. They just take abuse.
They do take abuse. 8-3. Although I would imagine that the life of a blocker is not an easy one either.
You know, some of our jammers that have turned to blockers, they're like, this is way harder than I was expecting it to be.
Oh, really? I would think.
The jammers are running into you also all the time. You're
Right,
trying
and-
to hit them. The other blockers are trying to hit you. And it is, jammers, they have one job. They're like, forward. I got to go forward. As a blocker, you've got a bajillion thoughts in your head of what you should be doing and can't be doing. So, a lot going on.
Gore is the lead jammer and has just broken through. Scoobs and Gore, they're around turn 1 and speeding up. Scoobs staying ahead. Scoobs is taking it personal, it looks like, as Gore calls off the jam.
Goose was on a mission for those points.
Sometimes you've got the blockers, and there are blockers, depending on the tripod that they set up, that are skating backwards.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's got to be a hard job. And then what I've noticed kind of at the end of last season, Humboldt has employed a defensive strategy more and more. And I'll tell you who was great at it was Stranger Danger. The breaking off at like a 45.
Yes.
And so you're going forward, you're going backwards, and you're going at a 45. That looks like a hard job to me.
Yes, it is. Derby is just hard. Whatever you do in it, it's hard. So
Did you play high school sports?
Kind of. I didn't play team sports. I did martial arts, so I'm no stranger to hitting people. And I did dance. Yeah.
Ice dance?
No, just dance.
Just dance.
Just regular dance. Yeah. Yeah. But martial arts, I feel like translates pretty well out here.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah.
It really actually helps with falling. Falling safely, not hitting my head.
Yaya is the lead jammer.
That's a great hit
Oh!
by T-Pain.
Welcome back to the lineup. T-Pain driving Hassler out. And Yaya, wow. Yaya made herself very thin and went along the line. I don't know how they got through that crease. Yaya coming up, taking a hit from Carnage, and it's going to have to recycle back as being knocked out.
Great offense by Spins.
Spins and needles.
Really watching.
Great blocking. And Yaya read it well and cut to the right side there and is on a point-scoring run. Meanwhile, the scrum and the pileup on the far straightaway. My goodness. Big scoring opportunity here for Yaya.
Seems like Carquinez jammer still hasn't got out. And Carquinez's pivot is in the box.
So no ability to send a pass.
No, but now pivot's getting out, so let's see if they can get
Now
a
they're
pass
back
through.
at full strength. Yaya looking a little tired. 16-0. It's another one of these.
Yeah, this might be the highest. I don't know if we've had one past 16 yet, right?
We do now.
We do now.
Yaya
she's looking at
smiling
like,
as
do
she
I
goes
have
around.
to keep going?
Right now, because the benches switch at halftime, she's looking into turn one to see if they're going to give her the sign, but the sign says keep going.
Yes.
And bouncing, getting tired out there, bouncing into Lady Blaze and sending Lady Blaze across the track, 24-0. And now they call it off, 24-0, 237-75. Oh, my goodness. The quad squad with hands on hips looking like, wow, what has hit us?
Looks like they're calling an official review. I think this is the first official review of the game.
Now, talk to me. An official review.
Yes.
There are no cameras.
Yeah. You have to hope and pray that one of the referees saw what you say happened. So usually with an official review, a team is trying to say you missed a penalty, or maybe you called the wrong penalty. But yeah, the refs have to see it. And sometimes the refs do, and they just didn't, react fast enough to call it. Sometimes they didn't see it. Sometimes they say, we saw what you're talking about, but that wasn't actually a penalty.
We should mention the referees tonight. Aurora Chaser is on the outside. Tasmanian Devil is a jam ref. Blondie is jam ref. Storm on the outside. Megalodonna on the outside. Elwood Blues is the head ref. And Missy Elliott, the pack ref. We have the same officiating crew many times. They do a great job.
Yes, we literally could not have roller derby without our officials. We appreciate them so much. Our non-skating officials, our skating officials, and all of the volunteers that help make this happen. It is truly a community thing.
I was telling Matt that at the halftime. Somebody asked me, how would you describe roller derby? And I said, effort.
Yes.
Effort.
Yes.
The players, the volunteers, the players doing other things when they're not in the game, like you're doing this now. But many of the players for the rollers in the game, too, are working as volunteers in this game.
That's right. Yeah. We very rarely get to just sit and watch a whole game. It's like, oh, you aren't skating, you better be doing something else.
So 9:55 to go. We're on official timeout. 237-75. The band playing the crowd favorite Elvira, which, it has to be played at a certain tempo.
Yes. Yeah.
Otherwise,
Otherwise, not so sure.
you know what I was thinking? It's a great idea.
Okay.
Would be a fundraiser to send the band to New Orleans to see if there was any kind of brass band camps.
That would be lovely.
You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
Because that's
yeah.
the home of the greatest
Yes.
brass band music in the country. I mean,
yeah, I do wonder if they get any opportunities to travel
Yeah,
and hone
why-
their musical
just
skills.
pump it up a bit, it would be outrageous.
Yeah.
So Envy looks like it doesn't look like Envy smashing through the line, but they called not stepped out. Well, look at that. Tina with a crack the whip move with Raging Eddie, sending Eddie through the blockers. Now Tina driving out Envy, and Raging Eddie coming up through turn one for a possible run at some points, but Envy doesn't want any part of that as the lead jammer calling it off.
Have we seen Envy start as a jammer yet?
We
this
have
game?
not.
Okay, I thought. Yeah.
We have seen the star pass to Envy, but we have
Yeah.
not seen Envy start.
Well, that was
so.
her first start, and she got out as lead. So I thought maybe I saw a foot out over there. I'm not a ref, but
I thought it was a step out.
yeah, no.
I didn't think it was a step out. I know it was.
Okay.
It happened right there.
You're like, we saw it too.
In our corner of Franceschi Hall where we are, there are things
We
you
have a-
can see and cannot
yes,
see.
yes, yeah. Refs are human beings, and it's everything is happening so fast. It is amazing what they are able to do.
Have you ever seen a roller derby bout in which people got contentious with the refs?
Yes. One here. There was one here where a skater was like screaming at our refs for their calls. And that can get you a penalty. That can get you ejected from the game. It's a risk.
Could the league sanction you in some way?
I think it'd have to be really egregious, like something like horribly offensive. But if they're just like frustrated and yelling, probably not.
There you go.
But we try to be nice to our refs. They're all volunteers also.
Power jam here, so Gore on their own. T-Pain, who's played a great game tonight, is the last of the defenders to make a play on Gore, but Gore's going to break loose and be the lead jammer. Eddie is in the box.
Did Eddie go to the box at the last jam?
They did. And then Gore falls down on their own.
Sometimes there's just sneaky things on the track that you don't see.
And that's too bad. That took away all their momentum. Eddie is back, has the star in their hand, and maybe was looking to pass it when they went to the penalty box. Route force.
Oh, back to the box.
Back to the box. So Eddie back to the box, meaning power jam all the way for the quad squad. Gore pushing forward.
Got a big blob of skaters over there.
Yes, the scrum on the outside. Gore on one skate trying to get past T-Pain and Torque and Beans. Hiss and Tell.
Good. They're getting good offense.
They've done a good job tonight, that triangle defense. Eddie off the
Eddie
bench
just
and
sneaking right through.
Wow, talk about starting from the blocks and just getting a great jump on things. And Eddie and Gore. Gore knocked out by T-Pain while Eddie is straddling the outside line and on the loose. Eddie coming up. Gore is hurt, it looks like. Has no oomph left.
Oh.
And Raging Eddie.
It was a 2-minute jam, I think. Hard
2-minute
hard
jam
work.
are lengthy or exhausting, but also when you're taking the kind of hits and knocked to the ground. Gore was knocked to the ground on the far straightaway in turn 4 and then again in turn 1 as the pack really tightened up. And that's been a good group for the Root Force tonight. Hiss and Tell, Torque and Beans, and T-Pain. That triad has been very strong.
Yes. Yeah. This tripod has been doing a great job, too, that we've got
Yes.
out right now. Not Lisa, 7-Eleven, was also a jammer previously. And
Right.
has started blocking last season and has really done a great job transitioning to that.
I
position.
think Immoral Combat, or Wombat, as you said earlier, has done a great job tonight. Played a
Yes.
very good game as a
Yes.
blocker in their first action as a blocker.
Yeah.
Now, do you look back at this game? Do you think, wow, there's some people that can be rollers next time? Is it fluid? Do you go back and forth?
Yeah, it can be. Every game is an opportunity to roster. And so, yeah, if there's someone that really shines on the roots and the coaches feel like they're ready for the rollers, then yeah, they might take a roller spot, or there might just be a roller down. Yeah, basically, people are hungry this season. I think everybody, they want to play their best. They want to play hard. Lots of people want to be a roller also. Some people are very happy continuing to skate as a root skater. They're competitive, but there's slightly less pressure. So for some people that works better for them.
Cherry Bomber and Envy are the two jammers to start.
Yeah, they're trying Poison Envy again out. And I think that's smart. I think that's a smart move by Carquinez.
So Cherry Bomber, nothing left to the imagination, plowing through, and the lead jammer. Setting up the defense for turn 2. Here comes Cherry Bomber on their first scoring pass, and you're going to set up the tripod. You're going to set it up, and she's going to go right in the midst of it. Envy is loose as well and coming around for their first scoring run, but Bomber's going to call it off before Envy gets there. And that's wise. 5:49 to go, 247 to 82, a 4-0 run. That's got to be frustrating for a jammer to work so hard to finally get loose, to be coming up on your first scoring pass, and the lead calls it off.
Yes, it is a frustrating thing.
So we've got one Humboldt skater in the box,
Ooh,
two
very good
Humboldt
offense
skater in the
there.
box. Knocked down is Tina, and Hassler finally gets away. Tina and Torque and Beans kind of crisscross skates and went down, allowing the Hassler to get loose. Now getting loose for Humboldt is Virgo. T-Pain back in the lineup and immediately dropping Hassler on the far straightaway. Hassler still wobbly. Wow. And ahead of Virgo, we'll see if Hassler goes ahead and tries to score and then calls it off. They are the lead jammer. Virgo breaks loose. One skate, stays up. Big smile as she comes around turn 1. Great job for Virgo. Virgo and Scoops have been outstanding as
Yes, going to be a close call on who gets MVP tonight.
very close call. Virgo, you were keeping Virgo's points, right? No?
Not my skill. It has been lovely and so much fun. I'm going to go.
You're
and put
leaving
my
again?
I got to put my gear on.
Oh,
You got to get ready.
it's good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you
Yeah, I
for
really
being
enjoy
here.
it. Yeah.
We love your live stream.
Yeah, do you? You watch it?
Yeah, I watch
Really?
it back afterwards. Yeah, we usually get the live stream sooner than we get our own footage, and yeah, sometimes I make sure I didn't say anything totally outrageous if I'm commentating.
Oh, you've been
so.
outstanding.
Yes.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
These guys do a great job putting it on the air, and
Yes.
you guys put up with me, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes, we love it. We appreciate you.
All right, Scoops is breaking loose. And with 3:30 to go, we say goodbye to Sasha Thrash as she gets ready for Game 2, the sanctioned bout against Galaxy. Wow, Scoops taking on Carnage and Glare Bear, and it's going to break loose. Meanwhile, Gnarly looking for their first scoring opportunity. Once again, that classic frustrating move where the lead jammer calls off the jam prior to that trailer being able to come up and score some points. Gnarly has been outscored terribly tonight. A 4-0 run for the Root Force, 263 to 90. Scores I never thought I would say back when learning to broadcast. But that is the score. 2:41 to go in game number 1 of our doubleheader. A very impressive night for the Root Force. Breaking loose, first time. Michaelata, first time as a jammer. Yaya chasing. Michaelata, the lead jammer, going to take on this Humboldt tripod and didn't take it on. Tried to go to the outside, then was pushed out and called off the jam. Oh, man, I was ready for some contact there. Got Matt Knight back on mic. I thought we were going to have, a little head of steam, little action, but Michaelata chose not to. 3-2 was the final on jam number 20. This is jam 21. Poison Envy and Raging Eddie. Raging Eddie with a nice move. Glare Bear tried to cut her off in turn 2, but missed. And Raging Eddie now coming around for their first scoring pass. Defense being set up, and Carnage just not quick enough.
That.
Not quick enough to the inside. And Raging Eddie going to be called for cutting the track and going to the penalty box now. Going to the penalty box, meaning with 1:08 to go, Envy is on a power jam. And Envy is going to slip past the last Humboldt defender, Combat. And with under a minute to go, this game decided a long time ago. But the quad squad trying to rack up a few points and get over 100. That'd be nice. Oh, Envy laying the boom on Tina. And with 37 seconds to go, we're at 266-96. Game coming to an end. This is jam number 22. Raging Eddie back on the rink. And going past is Raging Envy. Raging Envy coming around, 100 points. They scored one more time around for Envy, scoring some points and liking it. Coming into contact and knocked down by Not Lisa. Not Lisa and Hiss and Tell. That's going to be the game. Let's tally up the points. What an impressive night. Actually, they're going to finish out the jam. Raging Eddie cannot call off the jam because they weren't the lead jammer. So the lead jammer was in the box, and that's going to be it. 274 to 100. You have been listening to Humboldt Roller Derby presented by Access Humboldt right here on 96.7 KZZH. Want to talk about our underwriters. Rennie Law Group, providing legal public services throughout California, practicing public law in the public interest. Also, the Tangle Tiki. Welcome to the Tangle Tiki. My dear friend, Taylor Depew. She is the hair artist at Tangle Tiki. It's in Eureka at 823 3rd Street and available by appointments available at 707-601-1247. Know that you can become an underwriter for Humboldt Roller Derby, and you can do that by getting in contact with KZZH 96.7. Huge ovation from the crowd as the Root Force, who played an outstanding opening game, comes around beating Carquinez 277 to 100 as these two teams, the opener for the 2026 season. A very festive atmosphere here, and we have the sanction bout to go. Well, shall we send it back to the station, or?
Yeah, Let's take a little break here.
Let's take a break. Final score 277 to 100. It's Root Force beating the Carquinez Quad Squad, and we'll be back after a break for the feature bout of the night. The Galaxy, the visiting Galaxy against the Redwood Rollers. This is Paul Bersu for KZZH 96.7 in Eureka.
Wow.
Rock me.
Welcome to the KZZH Community Calendar for the week starting Friday, February 20th, 2026. On Friday, February 20th, you are invited to the Humboldt Circus Red Cross fundraiser starting at 6 p.m. at the Gutzrock Student Activity Center at Cal Poly Humboldt, 1 Harp Street in Arcata. This is a fundraising circus show with burlesque, clowning, juggling, and other variety acts, and free pizza. All proceeds will be donated to the Red Cross. Also on Friday, roll on over to Public Skate from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. at the Fortuna Skating Rink in Roner Park's Fireman's Pavilion. The public skate sessions may close early if there is no one in attendance. Go to friendlyfortuna.com for more information. On Saturday, February 21st, stock up on groceries at the Arcata Farmers Market from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the Arcata Plaza at 9th and G Streets. The Farmers Market happens year-round and offers fresh produce, meat, fish, cheese, eggs, bread, flowers, plus live music and hot food vendors. No pets, but trained ADA-certified service animals are welcome. CalFresh EBT customers receive a market match at every farmer's market. Email info@northcoastgrowsassociation.org 441-9999 to find out more. Also on Saturday, come out for the Volunteer Trail Stewards Workday from 9 to 11 a.m. on the Eureka Waterfront Trail North, Tide Street to the Adorney Center. Meet at the corner of 1st and X Streets every third Saturday for trash cleanup, invasive plant removal, and basic trail maintenance, such as cutting back grass and shrubs to keep the trail clear. Email vtscoordinator@humtrails.org or call 707-601-7809 to find out more. Finally, on Saturday, the Bike Library is open from 12 to 4 p.m. at the Bike Library, 1286 L Street in Arcata. Get hands-on repair lessons and general maintenance, plus used bicycles and parts for sale. Donation of parts and bicycles gladly accepted. Email arcatabilicelibrary@riseup.net for more information. On Sunday, February 22nd, don't miss nature journaling at the Arcata Marsh starting at 10 a.m. at the Arcata Marsh and Wildlife Sanctuary Interpretive Center, 569 South G Street. No pre-registration is required, but sessions are limited to the first 10 people. All ages are welcome if they can concentrate quietly for an extended period. Heavy rain will cancel, clipboards and colored pencils will be provided. Please bring a notebook, journal, or other paper and a writing implement, and wear weather-appropriate clothing. Email info@arcatamarshfriends.org or call 707-826-2359 to find out more. Also on Sunday, stop by the Community Breakfast from 8 to 11:30 a.m. at the Ferndale Veterans Memorial Building, 1100 Main Street. There will be pancakes, biscuits and gravy, ham, sausage, eggs to order, coffee, and juice. On Monday, February 23rd, check out the formal dress swap from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Jean Lucas Community Center, 3000 Newburgh Avenue in Fortuna. Bring in your gently used dresses and or pick up a new one for free. You don't need to bring anything to take a new dress. Email Layla at glccenter.org for more information. On Tuesday, February 24th, you're invited to the Humboldt Stamps Collectors Club from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Humboldt Senior Resource Center, 1910 California Street in Eureka. New collectors and experts are welcome. Learn about stamps, collecting, and see local experts in stamps who will share their collections. Email humstampclub@gmail.com to find out more. Also on Tuesday, it's English Express, an online English language class for adults. Build English language confidence in ongoing online and in-person classes. All levels and first languages are welcome. Join anytime and pre-registration is not required. Email EnglishExpressEmpowered.com or call 707-443-5021 to find out more. On Wednesday, February 25th, there will be a Healthcare for All and Physicians for a National Health Program meeting from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at the Creamery District, 1251 9th Street in Arcata. The meeting is available every month by Zoom. Contact healthcareforallhumboldt@gmail.com for the Zoom link and more information. To submit your nonprofit event to the KZZH community calendar, go to kzzh.accesshumboldt.net and follow the community calendar link located near the top of the page. Your event information will be read twice a day, at noon and 5 p.m. on weekdays and at noon on the weekends. Your event information will also be shared on Access Humboldt TV's bulletin board. Access Humboldt, local voices through community media. For KZZH in Eureka, I'm Isabella Vanderheyden.
Tomorrow night. I said I'm going to dinner tomorrow night. We're gonna have not one but two interviewees, or one?
I guess so.
Just you?
Mia, do you want to come? Should we go at the same time?
Well, maybe one after the other because we only have one headset.
Okay.
And you are
My name is Simey.
Stymie?
Simey, like a Siamese
Simey,
cat.
like
Yeah,
a Siamese
yeah.
cat. Is that your roller derby name?
No, that's my middle name.
That's your
what-
middle
Yeah, I haven't come up with a derby name yet.
And because where are you in the process of the roller derby?
I'm in L2 training camp, so level 2. I passed L1 last semester, and now I'm trying to get on to the big team.
You're going to have to explain this to me because I think it's fascinating. What made you sign up for level 1?
One of the players on the team is my friend, Maud Behavior.
Maud.
I hope she's skating tonight. I saw her coaching the first game, and she taught me how to roller skate, actually.
So you'd never skated?
Mm-mm.
Were you an athlete in high school?
I did soccer, so
Soccer.
I'm really excited to do a team sport again, but roller skating, I had no clue.
So
And
now where did you start roller skating? You go to Blue Lake on the rink, or?
she took me to the rink, and then she just got me some outdoor wheels and made me just skate around town with her and go to the skate park. And I'm pretty bad still compared to her, but she taught me a lot of stuff. And if it weren't for her, I probably wouldn't have had the courage.
Okay, talk to me about the fear factor of signing up for the level 1 training camp.
I think the scariest, it's really intimidating when you come to a bout and you see what they're doing and you can barely stop successfully. And the coaches
No, let me ask. Can you see yourself at this level?
I hope so. In L2 we got to get physical, so now the people on the team will come. They coach us themselves, so they come early to practice, coach us, and they're starting to push us around a little bit, so it's a little scary.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm excited. I feel like I have to get better at my skills, because if you can't stand up, then you're gonna just fall over every time.
So talk to me. What kind of commitment is level one? How many times a week are you going?
It's 3 days a week. So level
Wow.
1 and level 2, 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Now that I'm in level 2, they sometimes ask us to stay late and warm up with the big team. And then we usually all try to volunteer at the games.
So now that you've watched a game, do you see yourself as a jammer? Do you see yourself as a blocker? Do you see yourself, I guess the pivot would be the third position, but that's
I think pivot sounds fun because I really like to do it all. I did midfield in soccer. I really am defensive when I play, but I really love the chance to get out there and get a chance to be offensive. So
then obviously when the head cover gets passed, the pivot becomes the jammer and then has the opportunity to score the point. So that's exciting. Now you're here watching. I mean, you get excited. You get a little.
Oh yeah, I think it's I'm trying to work on watching more of the blockers. I tend to watch the jammer because it's fun and that's where your eye goes. But I'm trying to learn more about strategy and how they work together, especially when they're trying to break up the pack so that their jammer can get through. So yeah, that's what I'm learning more. Is kind of strategy is what I want to learn more about in this game.
So do you feel that there's been an intense learning curve and you're just starting to get it?
Yeah, definitely. They don't teach you any gameplay in L1. So they just teach you how to skate and how to stop, how to do certain turns, and you don't know why you'll be using those skills later. So it's really exciting now to integrate like
Access Humboldt bringing you the broadcast of Humboldt Roller Derby. We saw the first game, Root Force, coming out strong for the 2026 season. This game will feature the Redwood Rollers and the Galaxy, California Derby Galaxy from down in the Bay Area. And we have a guest here at halftime, Muscle Mommy.
Hello, hello.
So, not in the lineup tonight. Why is that?
Not tonight, unfortunately. I recently experienced an injury, so I got a little bit of a dead leg, and it pulled my whole knee out of place. So nursing a little bit of an injury, but I'm back on skates. I'm back to skating, and I will be in our March bout. So that's very exciting.
So, did that happen in practice?
In a scrimmage a couple months ago.
So scrimmages are intense, right? Because
They are.
Sash was telling me during the last game, she said that camp has been more energetic than she's seen it in years.
Absolutely. They're coming in strong.
As you guys were getting ready, and she said we're just waiting to hit somebody new. So
Absolutely. That's kind of the fun part about scrimmages, I would say. With a game, it's a random team. You don't know them. You're not buddies with them. When it's your own teammates, I feel like we kind of hit each other harder because we know what we can take.
Really?
Yeah. It's a great way to challenge each other. It's a great way to yeah. It's a really great opportunity.
A great opportunity. Well, this is the sanctioned bout tonight against a team that's pretty darn tough, the California Derby Galaxy. They are from the San Francisco Bay Area. And what they are virtually is an all-star team that comes up from a league. So help me if you can. The league has players that desire to be that go on the road.
Correct. Yeah. So some of those really high level teams, they have specifically like travel teams that you have to try out for. This is, from my understanding, this is their B team that we will be playing this evening. We got to play the California Derby Galaxy last spring. And we played their A team then, and it was quite the game. We got beat pretty good.
Spanked.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so these are players that are aspiring to be A players.
Absolutely.
And you're talking about if these are virtually all-stars from a league, which is what they are,
Yes.
then, you're talking about a league that's going to be deep and have good players. So
Yes.
this is going to be a good team that's skating against
It's
you
going
tonight.
to be a really strong game. We can already tell just from seeing the little bit of their warm up. They've got some really good skates under them. They are looking strong. They're looking clean. It's going to be a really fun game.
And they're large. They're a big
They
team.
are.
You know?
Humboldt does not have a tall or a large team, and they got a big team.
Yeah. So there you go. So tell me about your role tonight. You were a coach. I saw you down here in the corner giving instructions to the Jammers.
Yeah. So during tonight's games, both for the Root Force and also for the Redwood Rollers, I will be the turn 2 coach, which basically is a role where I'm communicating with the Jammers, like when they should call it off, if we're getting close to a call off, if they like, you know what, you're looking good, just keep it calm. Anything that is of use to Jammers. That way they don't really have to make all the calls in the moment. They can just skate.
Now you're not the head coach. You're the coach in the corner. Are you getting instructions from the coaching staff on the bench?
Correct. Yeah. So we're in contact, like even though we're like all the way across the track from each other. Tonight on our bench we have both Daddy Longlegs and Sprocket Rocket, who are head coaches for this evening. They're also 2 out of our 4 coaching staff. And so I'm tonight just communicating with Sprocket, and we are more or less just mirroring each other on the track.
And then do they make the decisions themselves on the bench of what to call and then get it to you, or?
Yes. Yeah. So we have a series, and like many teams, we have a series of hand signals that we can, if they do a hand signal, I'll do the same hand signal. And then our jammer knows, okay, it's time to call it. Or, okay, I'm going to go try and get through the pack. And then once I'm through the pack, I call it, things like that.
And how long have you had this role?
This is just it's kind of like a rotating role. It's not a formal role by any means. So for tonight, I'm just kind of support. For other games, other skaters will be support. Sometimes we have one skater for one game and another skater for another game, but it's a just a shared role. We all do it whenever we can.
So answer me this. Are there people though that are, when they're out of the lineup, look to be in the role that you're in? Do they say, oh, Muscle Mommy, she's the one we want down there in the corner? I mean, are you an aspiring coach someday? Are you?
You know what? I don't know. I'm still very new to this sport. The role of coaching is it's inspiring, and I like to see it. And maybe one day that's in my career journey as a Humboldt roller derby skater. But right now, my main focus is skating with my team and hitting hard.
How many years have you been on the derby?
Just the 1 year, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you an athlete in high school?
I was high school and college. Yep.
And what sport did you play?
I did cross country and track and field.
So nothing like this.
Not at all. No.
Nobody ever
There's
ran
not
into
a lot
you
of
or-
hitting in that
No.
sport. No.
Maybe a little jostling at the start.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Wow. So how
Uh-huh.
did you come to Derby?
Funny story actually. So Daddy Longlegs and their partner and some of the other skaters on the team, they were all lifting together, and I heard about this gym space that they had, and I was like, you know what, like I want to participate in that. So I actually started by
No.
lifting weights with them.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they had a private gym space, or they went?
They just work out of their garage, really, but they've got a nice setup. They've got dumbbells, they've got a rack, they've got barbells, they've got all kinds of stuff.
I see. And so that was, you wanted to be part of that, and that's how you got together with the Humboldt Roller Derby.
Kind of, yeah.
Did
Yeah.
they recruit you? Did they say,
I would say they were very low key about it, where they weren't gonna like pressure anybody into the sport who didn't want to skate in the sport. So it was more of like they put the tickler in my brain, but then my good friend actually Griselda, who just played in the last game,
and played well?
they did play very well. Yeah, she was like, you know what, I'm gonna try training camp this year, and I was like, oh, maybe I should try that. I have some friends who do roller derby, and so she and I did training camp together, and we leveled up to the team together. And it's just kind of a random entrance into roller derby, I feel like.
Because you started with the weightlifting, is that how you became Muscle Mommy?
Yeah, actually, muscle mommy is this internet term to basically kind of like
which is why I wouldn't know it.
yeah. It's I've had to explain it to a few people, but
Well,
yeah.
let's hear it.
It comes from internet and like gym culture to kind of ascribe this idea of like women in weight rooms and women who are strong are still like really confident, they're still hot, they're sexy, and for like weightlifting, which is predominantly a male space, there's often this idea that women who weightlift like aren't sexy or they're like too manly. And so it's a way to reclaim this idea of like, no, being strong is awesome. So
You know, being the age I am, uh, and because I have the silver sneakers with my insurance, I see not only a lot of people my age, but a lot of women in the gym as
absolutely.
I've started to go to the gym. So maybe this concept of muscle mommy has
Yeah.
caught on.
I hope so. I think it's definitely something that I think I've been seeing over the years. More women feel comfortable like going into gym spaces and working out and being strong.
Now,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't have been new to that being a college athlete.
I was not, no, but it was a gym space that I felt safe being in, I would say. Not all gyms are, unfortunately, not all gyms are safe spaces. And so it was a great experience to be able to lift with other women and other queer athletes.
Very good. So that's how Muscle Mommy came to be. So your position this year that you've been working out in
Yeah.
is what?
I'm a jammer.
You're a jammer.
Yes.
All right. And when you come back, does one after an injury come back through the root force to the rollers, or how does that work?
So it kind of depends on the injury that you have and the length of time that you're out. I will be well, I guess rosters have not yet been released for our March game, but I will be traveling with our Redwood Rollers to the tournament we'll be playing in Denver at the end of March.
Wow,
Mhm.
Denver. And Denver is a big time hotbed of roller derby.
Absolutely. Denver Roller Derby is the third best team in the world, and we'll be able to play in their home space on their home track. So it'll be very exciting.
So Portland is the best team. Denver's the third best team. Who's the second best team?
You know what? I couldn't tell you, unfortunately. I have no
Oh!
idea.
I thought we were going to give a little insight
Oh,
too.
I'm like, oh, I got to check my notes.
Well, you know, it's interesting because, you know, there's an absence, there's a void of statistical data for this sport. And I've looked at the other websites. I've looked at Denver. I've looked at Portland.
Uh-huh.
They're not talking about how many points certain jammers score or teams average per game or any of that stuff. And I finally like, hey,
I know. I
the
wonder.
sports world lives on that
I
stuff.
know. We love stats.
I know.
So I guess fun fact for us. So we do get statistics after every game.
What
so
are your statistics that you get?
so our NSOs, so that's our non-skating officials, who you'll see kind of up and down the sides of the track.
Right.
What they're usually counting is they're going to see who's lead jammer. They're going to see how many points each team gets. They're also going to be counting all of the different penalties that each team gets. And so you'll be able to kind of break it down player by player to see who's getting penalties, what kind of penalties they're getting, who's scoring points.
Why is that statistic so important? The penalty aspect. Is there any sort of
a great
discipline comes to a
question.
player that is more penalized?
Well, I wouldn't say there's any sort of discipline, but it's always good to know kind of where you can grow as an athlete and in this sport especially. There are certain penalties that we notice different skaters will get. So like, for example, our jammers, a pretty common penalty that you'll get is a cut track. And that's because you love just to like live and dance on those lines, that sometimes you get a little overconfident on the line and you might think that you're in and you're actually out of playing. So you'll get a cut track. And so it's good information to have to be like, okay, like I got 3 or 4 cut track penalties that last game. That's something I got to figure out and get under control.
But I would think, as a jammer,
Yeah.
speaking to a jammer,
Yeah.
that's unavoidable. You're going to have a cut track.
Sometimes I've had games where I've had 0 penalties, but it can be unavoidable where maybe you get knocked out of bounds and you think you've got the clear go ahead, but unfortunately you don't.
You know, I've seen more and more in the last year or so that kind of incredible, and I think it's very astute, a defensive play made by a blocker where they'll drop off the far side if the jammer is on the outside of the track at a 45 and try to give a bump to put that jammer out.
Absolutely.
And it seems like, gosh, it just seems like it's virtually unavoidable to not take that hit and get knocked out.
Yeah, so you can get knocked out, and that absolutely will happen every
And then
game
you
without
recycle
fail.
back.
You recycle back, yeah. So you'll only get the cut track if I don't recycle back.
Right.
So if I decide to just jump the gun and hop on the track without falling to the back of the pack, that's when I would get that cut track. But at the blockers going for that 45-degree, that's a good eye, because that's absolutely, I would say, something that blockers in general aim for. At this apex, you've got a lot of momentum, and so the physics of it all, it's going to be a lot easier to hit a jammer out on this outside curve because they've got all that momentum working against them.
I've seen that used more and more as I've watched or learned the game. So learning the game, where would you say you are?
One of the things that I love to do, one of my values, I would say, I'm a continuous learner, which is funny enough, my day job, I'm a learning and development specialist.
Really?
So I am, yeah.
Where?
Open Door Community Health Centers, actually.
Wow.
Shout out Open Door.
Right on.
Yeah.
We should get them to underwrite.
I know. So one of the things that I think most of us we're learning every single time we hit the track, every single practice, every single game. And if you think you know it all, no, you don't. There is always more to learn. This sport is ever changing. So I would say I'm still early in my learning with roller derby, where I'm more and more comfortable with all of the things as it applies to me as a jammer, but there's so much that I know our blockers are paying attention to that for the most part, I kind of put those like horse blinders on. I'm like, you know what? That's not my role. I don't need to pay attention to that. But also as a skater, it's important to know what the blockers are thinking about so that I can kind of anticipate what they might be able to do so I can get around them.
As a college athlete, do you find it easier to be locked in that sort of mindset because you've competed at a high level?
I don't know, actually. That's a great question. I think there is definitely something to having been a college athlete that coming into a sport as an adult now, it's definitely helped me. But I think there are so many people who come from various walks of life in this sport who have those kinds of skills that they've acquired in other manners.
Oh, I
Yeah.
totally imagine, but I would just think mindset wise, the reality of somebody that's competed at a collegiate level, which is a very high level, let's face it, and has that competition background, I think that would be a tremendous advantage.
I would say it's helped definitely with my learning journey in roller derby. I think it's definitely assisted. And I think some of the ways that I see it assisting myself is knowing like how to take care of my body when I'm competing in my sport. So am I going to the weight room? Am I going on runs outside of my derby practice? Am I drinking enough water? Am I eating the right foods? Am I getting enough sleep? So it's more of the like all of the things outside of the sport that assist with the sport itself.
But there are external realities of this sport that not of the sport that you played, because
Absolutely.
somebody's coming across and hitting you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely not something that occurred to me when I was racing track. No, nobody.
No, and I'll bet you waking up the next morning after a track meet is a far different experience than waking up the next morning after this, especially if you're the
Absolutely.
marked person that is a jammer.
Oh yeah, I wake up with some pretty good bruises, or like I would say like you just kind of feel like a rock the next day where your whole body is sore. You're like, okay, how did I skate through a whole game last night?
Wow, amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that with I find, the commitment and the effort is amazing in this sport.
It's
I mean,
so cool.
it's I know why all these people come and get excited about it because, the energy that the skaters give out is fantastic, and you guys have to love it and have to be committed to it.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, there is so much commitment on this team. I mean, we're skating 6 hours a week. Most of us were here for a few hours last night doing setup as well. We've been here since about 3:30 this afternoon. So just the time commitment alone, but then the
your
love for the
training.
team. Yeah.
Right on. Well, Muscle Mommy, thank you.
Thank you.
For all that insight. We
I
really enjoy you coming by, and hope that you'll come by. Hey, if you
Yes,
ever
sir.
are in a situation where, you know, you need a job to do, we always looking for color broadcasters that can do it.
You're too kind. Well,
You'd
thank
be
you
great.
so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks very much.
And we'll see you around.
All right. Muscle Mommy, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you're listening to KZZH 96.7 Eureka Community Radio from Access Humboldt. Access Humboldt presenting the Humboldt Roller Derby. Want to thank the Speakeasy Bar, a New Orleans-inspired custom built bar, seasonal craft cocktails, local fresh ingredients, live jazz and blues music, and more, located at 411 Opera Alley in Eureka. Want to thank them for their fundraisers they did for the people in Minneapolis as well. Broadcasts of Humboldt Roller Derby are supported in part by the Humboldt County Office of Elections. They want to remind us the last day to register to vote for June 2nd primary election is May 18th, 2026. You can check out your voter status at voterstatus.sos.california.gov. And broadcasts of Humboldt Roller Derby games are supported in part by A to Z Eye Care, dedicated to providing the community with quality vision care through education, technology, and excellent service. Find out more at A to Z eyecare.com. Joined by a friend of the show, which is great for us in a way, but a bummer because she won't be on the rink tonight.
Yep.
Chakra Punch back again. Good to see you.
Yeah, this is fun to do. I'm glad to be here.
It's better than taping the track, for God's
Yes.
sake. There you go. Man, I was feeling underappreciated there for a bit. So, you're not in tonight.
No, I at practice about a month ago, I got my foot kicked out from under me and heard a big pop. I thought it was broken. I went to the ER, but it was just sprained. So,
What is the status at the moment?
mostly healed. I was able to put on skates last week and kind of roll around, but it's still got a little bit of pain and mostly very weak. I'm going to have to hit the gym and really build all the muscles back up again.
Have you not been able to do anything?
No, I mean, even walking has been a chore, you know?
Bummer. How far does that push you back seasonally?
Well, not skating this game. I'm hoping that I can get back into it for next game, in March. But
That's coming up quick.
yeah,
3 weeks.
yeah, but I've been skating a long time, so I just got to get the muscles back and I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we hope that you are. I mean, there's some exciting parts of the schedule right now, playing sanctioned bouts and also the trip to Denver. You want to make
Denver.
that.
I cannot make that.
What?
Because I can't really do high elevations.
Wow.
So that game is out for me, unfortunately.
And the high elevation is, what is the,
Denver is over 5,000.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that, but I mean, why
Oh,
can't you
why?
go?
Low oxygen environments.
Oh.
Yeah, not so great for me.
I remember the Dodgers used to have a pitcher that couldn't pitch up there. When they
Yeah.
went to Denver, they couldn't bring him.
I mean, visiting those places is hard enough for me, but I think playing a high level intensity sport,
Right. Well, here we are, the first jam of the night. It's Curious George for Humboldt as the jammer breaks loose right off.
Whoa.
George is amongst the fastest jammers that we see and knocked down to the ground. My goodness, hard hit there by number 200, Chem Fatale. Play on Femme Fatale, taking George down.
We
Oh.
played against the Derby Galaxy and got completely annihilated last season. We played against their A team. This is their B team, so hoping it's a closer match.
Well, one, I remember that, and two, they still can be very deep and very good. My goodness, they're the all-stars of an entire league in the Bay Area. Breaking loose there. Eco Terrace back after a season, and Eco knocked down and then doing some hard hitting, breaking loose from Viper Active. 4-0 Rollers. Eco Terrorist into Viper Active again down here in turn one, pushing, shoving. There's some blocking going on. Good job by Bianca Swagger to free Eco Terrace. Eco Terrace is on a power jam as the Galaxy jammer in the box, and then, wow, hard hit there, delivered by number 42, Oxytoxin. That's 97 Rainbow Rocket being held up by a great job by a Humboldt group of blockers. The star was passed to number 4,140, Sasha DeGrader. And Humboldt jumping out 16-0. Wow.
Yeah. Eco has been skating since she was a junior up in Salem, Oregon, Cherry City.
The big leagues.
So she's an excellent jammer, excellent blocker, excellent pivot.
So here we go. It looks like Cloverkill, that's exactly who it is the jammer. A good blocking line, I think, with Stranger Danger, Slam Chowder. You've got Braun Luke Picard and Rotten Tula Core. That's a good group. Playing hard, playing fast. Great job taking the angles. And going for the lead jammer is Cloverkill. On the chase is Silly Goose. Cloverkill coming up and calling off the jam. Cloverkill got gummed up there. Good job by Stevie Hits. Big time hip check. And Cloverkill realized they weren't going to go anywhere. And Silly Goose was the one that was going to be in the scoring position, so the jam was called off. It actually wound up being a 1-0 advantage. Is that frustrating when the lead jammer calls it off when you've worked so hard and you're just about to come up?
If yes. Yes. In any situation, yes.
In a word, yes. Mad Plow Disease has done a great job breaking through. My goodness, the Humboldt Jammers have been the lead on each jam, now knocked out and having to recycle back. Both jammers having to recycle back. And good defense by Humboldt, pushing and finally breaking loose. Number 135, Sailor Doom. But the jam called off as Mad Plow, who was the lead jammer, was able to call it off. And Humboldt scored 4-0. Little tiny increments here by Humboldt, but good strategy. They've kept the trailing jammers of the Galaxy from being able to score. Back to Furious George.
It's not, actually.
Oh, Paris Nut, and Paris Nut gets hammered. Wow. Hammered by Stevie Hits, who's showing themselves to be a very powerful defensive blocker. Meanwhile, Tula and Danger plays better with her back to the skater than anybody, I think. Paris Knott is loose. It's Express Lane Jane.
Paris Knott
Anything but
went
the
to
Express
box,
Lane. Paris Knott had been sent to the box?
so no longer the lead.
Oh.
And I think, yeah, now it's Jane.
Fast Lane Jane on the power jam now. Taking a look. Defense setting up. Good job there by Detroit Demon playing some offense, taking out some of the Humboldt blockers. Jane's got to recycle back, and Paris Knott is coming around and recycling back as well. Now, players just have nicknames off their nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just call her Snot?
Yes.
Great. Snot takes the lead.
And honestly, the way she skates, she just like drips through the pack like snot.
There you go. The metaphor. Good to have you back. Express Lane Jane being held up. As this looks going to go the full 2 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, Jane can call it at any moment.
once you get jammers going in and out of the penalty box, you often see these longer jams.
Mm-hmm. And I think Jane was probably trying to keep pushing, to keep putting points on, being in control of that jam.
It's the first time that the Galaxy go ahead and take a jam, that time by a 7-3 advantage. It's 24-7 in favor of the Rollers, 22:37 to go first half. All the skaters are skating on the far end of the jam line.
Old school style.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on here, and then they all flip and turn. It is a power jam. And number 97, Rainbow Rocket, being driven out and then escaping. Good job by Rainbow Rocket. Slipped past my partner from the last game, Sasha Thrash. And both Rainbow Rocket and the pivot, Detroit Demon, have come back onto the rink. And Rainbow Rocket doing some in and out moves, and now a dance along the inside track and scoring some points. Rainbow Rocket, the lead. Here comes Snot around, and Rainbow Rocket's going to call it off before Paris Knott had a chance to come up and try to get some points. The Galaxy win that jam 4-0 and quickly call it off. Now, do you look to call it off, or are you looking for the coaches in the corners to tell you?
Typically, you're looking at your bench coaches to tell you, because sometimes there's someone in the box, or like they're trying to run down the clock for some reason, or there's something you can't see.
I would imagine it would be tough, and Furious George breaks loose easily a mile ahead as the lead jammer. I would think there would be hardly anything you could see in that nature, because you're looking straight ahead, right? Great job by Stranger Danger. Worked out both offense and defense. Furious George scores 4 points and then calls it off as they were side by side with number 62, Silly Goose, the jammer for the Galaxy. Yeah, I think it would be very hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have your in-betweens. That's when you really are looking at the pack, seeing what's going on. Where's the other jammer? What's my box saying?
So Ecoterra is back for the Rollers, and it's number 135, Sailor Doom. And Sailor Doom is going to wind up being the lead jammer. Not only the lead jammer, this is a power jam, as Eco has gone to the box. moving pack here. A wonderful wall for Sailor Doom. Now Sailor Doom pushed out, has to recycle back outside of turn number 3. Great job here by the Humboldt defense. And Sailor Doom's going to be pushed out and have to recycle all the way, driven down practically to the second turn. Now he's got to recycle back again. Great job by Humboldt. Here comes Eco out of the box. Coming up and making an apex move and just dumped out of bounds by number 50. She-Ra Badass. Boy, I'll tell you what, that never were truer words spoken. 4 points for the Galaxy, 28-16. After jumping well ahead, the Galaxy have chewed away at the lead.
Mm-hmm. And that's how it happens. You can never assume until you get like a couple hundred between you. You really can't assume that you're solid in the lead.
Clover kill for Humboldt. Great job by Stranger Danger picking up the jammer for the Galaxy. It's Express Lane Jane. Here comes Clover kill on a scoring try. Tries an apex move, but gets knocked out by number 33, Z Machine. There you go. Now Clover trying the outside, inside, and has to recycle back as once again Z Machine has knocked them out. This is a power jam for Humboldt as Express Lane Jane is in the box. But Clover, who's usually an incredible jammer, being really held up by some great defense right now. And look at that. Stranger Danger does it all. Kind of a move out of old roller derby. Kind of a crack the whip at recess kind of move. Taking Clover by the hand, literally, and spinning them forward so that they could score the 4 points. It is 32-16, a much-needed win on the jam for Humboldt.
That is always a great feeling to have the assists from your blockers when you're struggling and you can like see the end and they just grab you and just like propel you and give you that last little push.
Is that something you practice?
No.
And what? Mad Plow driven out by number 4040.
Oh, no.
Mad Plow driven into the wall. Wow. Both teams are playing some really beastly defense in this game so far. This game is fast and furious. Welcome to the sanctioned bout. It's Rainbow Rocket getting knocked out and having to recycle back while Mad Plow is pushing straight ahead. Great triangle defense by the Galaxy. Bianca Swagger trying to free Mad Plow. Plow dumped by Oxytoxin. Everybody having to recycle back. Folks, this jam hasn't even left the jam line. Finally, Mad Plow is broken loose. Rainbow Rocket is looking to pass the star to the pivot Detroit Demon, who finally has it. Meanwhile, Mad Plow scoring some points, being driven out, and finally calling it. Wow. A rough and tumble jam that one was.
Definitely.
These teams are playing hard. 15:27 to go. First half, 33-16. Humboldt Roller Derby and the California Derby Galaxy. The Derby Galaxy, tough and deep. They're a conglomerate of teams from the Bay Area. They're a very tough opponent.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That's all I can say to that.
Wow. Now that's the kind of expert insight that we need. Silly Goose, the pivot, spinning, turning. and trying to push ahead as a jammer. Rotten Tula Core, the last line of defense for Humboldt. It is a power jam. Wow, you see some hitting going on down there as an offensive wall is getting organized by the Galaxy. And Braun-Luc Picard drives Silly Goose to the ground, but the Goose gets up, and the Goose is on the loose. Action happening in the far turn number 4. Snot gets loose, and you know how that is. Snot loose, and coming up at the jam is going to be called off by the lead jammer. A 4-0 win on the jam by the California Galaxy. Now, I've spoken too soon, as I often do. When scores come in, 7 are awarded to the Galaxy, 33-23. So here we go. It's like Furious George for Humboldt. Yet to identify the Galaxy jammer. Could be Fast Lane Jane, and it is Express Lane Jane. And it's Express Lane Jane breaking loose. They're the lead jammer. Furious George being held up by Oxytocin, and then finally getting through. George with the star in their hand. They were thinking about passing it, and Fast Lane Jane is going to call it off. 3 points as eroding the lead. This is going to be a low-scoring bout.
I think so. It looks really, really well matched, and that makes it more exciting to watch.
When you're in a game and it's a low-scoring game and it's a slugfest like this, I mean, what are you thinking? What do you realize in that moment or those moments?
Well, it depends on what's causing the sludge fest, and can we fix it?
Eco Terrace breaks loose. Probably the jammer that's broken the pack the fastest that we've seen in this game. And then driven to the ground by Kem Fatale, having to recycle back and held up by a great tripod by the Galaxy, but then breaking loose on the outside and calling it off before Rainbow Rocket could get to the pack.
That was excellent offense by Destroyer to get Eco out of that pack.
We've seen some good blocks tonight where when the play has stiffened up and gummed up and there's just nowhere to go for that jammer, where one of the blockers has come down and picked off a defender and opened things up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they've got to have great rink awareness to do that as well.
That is a really challenging skill to switch from offense to defense and back again so quickly.
A jammer never changes.
Not unless they pass the panty.
There you go. I didn't think we could say that anymore.
Oh, no.
The star. Come on, man. All right, Cloverkill got loose, and
wow.
Cloverkill slips away. Viper Active tried to get the hip check, but Cloverkill got loose. The star was passed to the pivot, but before the pivot got a chance to come around in any sort of scoring pass, Cloverkill called it off. A 4-0 advantage for Humboldt Roller Derby, and we're at 41-26. Timeout called. Intense action. Let me ask you this. I was talking to Sassa Thrash. She said camp was intense.
Yeah.
And that people are ready to go against another team.
Yeah. I'm, I guess, kind of the head training camp coach right now. And skaters are in camp for at least a full year before they can even join the main team. So we have our newer skaters are already at a BC level, rather than some teams, they come in just like D or C, like barely able to stay upright. But our new skaters are pretty solid. They just have to get a better grasp of the strategy and stuff.
I was told you have 50 skaters in camp on the rosters or could be put on rosters.
Maybe on the main team. We have a lot of people right now. We've been slowly building since the pandemic, and it's impressive when we have all of our skaters on the track at once at practice. I love it.
And talent coming in.
Yeah. We get a lot of park skaters. Those people are usually pretty solid on their skates when they come to us.
So it's Mad Plow, but Mad Plow is going to lose the lead jammer to Express Lane Jane. Humboldt trying to reconfigure defensively. Stranger Danger calling out the signal sets. Slam Chowder, and they're just not being able to get the set. And Express Lane Jane is just that right now. Mad Plow also on the loose, but not the lead jammer. Express Lane Jane looked like she stepped out, and then the jam is called off. 7-4 in favor of the Galaxy on jam 14. It's 45-33.
That that I think it was like Jane's last pass. The pack was really trying to outrun her, and they were trying to stay together, but the Derby Galaxy blockers were trying to pick them off to slow it down to make it easier for their jammer to get through.
Paris Knot. There you go. Slipping through. And Paris Knot a little shaken back and waiting for the boom was Stevie Hits and timed that one. Stevie Hits looking curveball and got it. Paris Knot. Wow, how did Paris not even stay in play? Kim Fatale. And the jam is going to get called off. Paris Knot, a hard-earned 4 points. Man, oh, man.
And I think this for both Malice and Snot, this is their first rollers game.
So
first
called
time
up to the
moving
big
up.
club.
Yeah.
Well, Paris Knot showing some toughness there. Some real toughness, man. Stevie Hits lowered the boom. Paris Knot was making some good moves, and Stevie Hits was just waiting and just jumped on it. Furious George breaks loose. Meanwhile, great triad keeping Rainbow Rocket from breaking loose, and Braun-Luc Picard drives him out. They're going to have to recycle back. Here comes Furious George. Great move to the inside. Now to the outside, and point scoring. Little shake and bake. Now you see her, now you don't. Here comes Furious George on the inside being chased by Stevie Hits, who came out of the penalty box. And George, who sometimes can be an electric scorer for the Rollers, doing just that. George making a move and then tiptoeing on the end line, calling off the jam. And look at that, a 12-0 run. Humboldt Roller Derby 61, Galaxy 33, a little over 7 minutes to go.
The blockers were, the Rollers blockers were doing an excellent job keeping that jammer from ever making it out. The waterfalling, which is the running up to fill the holes and racing ahead and then knocking them out so that they could run them back. It was fun to watch.
and fun to hear. There's always new vocabulary that I get at roller derby, and waterfalling.
Yep.
A new defensive strategy. So 6:50 to go. There's a timeout on the track as the tapers. See, you could have been doing this.
I would have been doing that, yes.
instead of this.
I know. The thing is, in terms of volunteer jobs, track taping is nice because I get to just stand there and watch. And then I only have to do my job during the breaks, the timeouts, and the official reviews and stuff. So
I'm sorry, this
even
is so
better
taxing.
now I get to sit and like actually watch and not have to tape the track.
Now, is that your son you brought with you tonight?
Mm-hmm.
And what does he think of roller derby?
Oh, he loves it. He's following the action. He's following the skaters. I've been bringing him here since he was a baby. He used to like tootle around with the band with his fake trumpet.
You don't want that. Hanging out with that fringe element. It's Eco Terrace making a great move to the inside. And look at that. Bianca Swagger is going to get the assist there for pushing and playing some great defense. This is a power jam.
Mm-hmm.
So Rainbow Rocket in the box. And finally knocked out is Eco Terrace having to recycle back and pushing forward into the triad, the triangle defense of the Galaxy. And there's that incredible defensive player, Stevie Hitz. They have been fantastic so far in this first half. Rainbow Rocket now slips past everyone and has a chance to score. Had the star in their hand. They were looking to pass to a pivot, but didn't get the opportunity. And wisely, Eco Terrace calls off the jam. There was 3 points for Humboldt. Let's see how many the Galaxy got.
Looks like 0.
And it is 0.
You can see the refs in the middle. One of them has like a black wrist sweatband. One of them has a white sweatband, and they will hold up the points for each pass.
But it's always fascinating to me that some points come a little later.
Sometimes they have to think about it.
Oh,
my.
hip check by Stranger Danger, but Silly Goose is up and on the move. Cloverkill is pushed out and had to recycle back and is on the track. Meanwhile, Silly Goose is scoring points, having passed the Humboldt defense here in turn 1. A 4-0 run for the Galaxy, 64-37. We want to thank the Rennie Law Group, providing legal services and public agencies throughout California. We'd also like to thank Brio Bakery for joining us again this season. They were with us in the first season, and the Tangled Tiki. Here we go with 4:25 to go, 64-37. Matt Plow escapes and becomes the lead jammer fairly quickly. Meanwhile, Sailor Doom finally breaking loose for the Galaxy, actually having to recycle out and coming back. Matt Plow has a chance to score, but I'll tell you what, when Stevie Hitz is on the rink, this defense is so good. Breaking loose was Mad Plow. She picked up 4 points, 68-37, and what has been a very impressive effort tonight by the Rollers. A great first half. Really couldn't gone much better, I don't think.
I think they're doing excellent, and we've been working more closely in packs. So these lineups of blockers have had a lot of practice working together and figuring out, their chemistry.
This time it's that line with Slam Chowder and Rotten Chulicor and Braun-Luc Picard, but Jess Stroyer has joined them this time. Breaking loose was Express Lane Jane. Some hard hitting there as Furious George goes down. Furious George yet to break loose. Here comes Express Lane Jane. Good job by Chowder pushing her out. Got to recycle back, and Tula gets back so that pushes her back outside of turn one, now gummed up there by the pack. Meanwhile, the same thing is happening to Furious George as we're at sort of a standstill at the moment. Furious George finally breaks loose. Express Lane Jane might have looked like she left the track there, but there were not called. Tried an apex jump as George and knocked down by number 247 Viper Active. So 68-41, a 4-0 run on that jam. Just 2 minutes to go and a very entertaining first half. Fast, furious, and hard hitting. There's a timeout, or is this an official
review called by the rollers?
Always fascinating to me, the official review, since there's no camera.
Yeah. You don't get a chance to know what's happening and why.
Let's talk about our officials as the can is going on. Here we go. A little Moulin Rouge. Here in this second game, we have referee Lebowski on the outside. Aurora Chaser. Tasmanian Devil is also on the outside. Blondie is jam reffing. Megalodonna is the inside pack ref. Hellwood Blues, jam number 2, and Missy Elliott, the head ref. That was my halftime or between game guest, Muscle Mommy, doing the can. Now, is that good for the injured player to be doing the can during the break?
You know, how much is she injured if she can do the can? I think she's on the mend.
I think she's on the mend. That's the litmus test for these Redwood rollers.
Can you can?
Yes, that's right. Can you can? Or cannot you can? There we go. It's going to be Paris Knot, just because we haven't called that name in a while.
It looks like the refs are still talking about the issue that was brought up.
And it's going to be 62. Is that Silly Goose? It certainly is. Snot and Goose will be your jammers here for Jam 21 coming up.
I feel like they are of similar jammer temperaments. They are both like really slippery and hard to stop.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You know, you couldn't have expressed yourself like this had you been a taper. I just want you to remember that.
Gonna hold it over me. I didn't know this was
like,
an option.
Gee, I'm gonna go home and talk. How was roller derby? Well, gee, honey, one wanted to be a taper rather than work with me.
But I forced her to commentate with me.
There you go. Finding their true calling. I will say this about this game. I thought last game with the quad squad, the difference in the game was there were some matchups. The jammers were terribly matched up. Terribly. Humboldt was so dominant. And in this match, in this bout, these jammers have been matched up very well. Both actually and metaphorically.
Yes.
So Paris Knot and Silly Goose both try the outside first. It doesn't work. Paris Knot going to the inside. Oh, Stevie Hitz has been phenomenal as a defender. The hip check, the elbows, got every tool in the box, and now being called for a penalty. Meanwhile, a hit on Paris Knot. I'll tell you what, give Paris Knot credit. It's tough. Very tough. Silly Goose passed the star to Detroit Demon, the pivot. But Detroit Demon is locked up by Malice and Otter Pop. Otter Pop doing a great job. Bianca Swagger. This line doing a great job. Paris not. Oh, should have cut to the inside. But bounces off of Chem Fatale. Meanwhile, Detroit Demon back in and falling to the inside. And, oh, taking a big hit from Stevie Hits. Paris not, but Paris not got back up. Paris not is one tough jammer on this jam. Moving to the outside and then knocked out by Chem Fatale. Jam is called off. And points are being assessed, but it was a great success for that defensive line and for Paris not. An 11-0 run, 79-41. And I'll tell you what, that is big time at the half, and there's going to be the intermission.
Okay.
Well, that was as well as could be expected. That was
Yes.
fantastic.
Yep. And this is watching the team play this well together is incredibly satisfying because we've been working really hard.
And it shows.
Yeah.
It showed with the root force, and it
Mhm.
showed here. So we're going to send it back to the station. I'll be back in the second half with Chakra Punch, and we'll come back. Score at halftime. Humboldt Roller Derby, the Redwood Rollers 79, Cal Derby Galaxy 41.
Rock me.
Welcome to the KZZH Community Calendar for the week starting Friday, February 20th, 2026. On Friday, February 20th, you are invited to the Humboldt Circus Red Cross fundraiser starting at 6 p.m. at the Gutzrock Student Activity Center at Cal Poly Humboldt, 1 Harp Street in Arcata. This is a fundraising circus show with burlesque, clowning, juggling, and other variety acts, and free pizza. All proceeds will be donated to the Red Cross. Also on Friday, roll on over to Public Skate from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. at the Fortuna Skating Rink in Roner Park's Fireman's Pavilion. The public skate sessions may close early if there is no one in attendance. Go to friendlyfortuna.com for more information. On Saturday, February 21st, stock up on groceries at the Arcata Farmers Market from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the Arcata Plaza at 9th and G Streets. The Farmers Market happens year-round and offers fresh produce, meat, fish, cheese, eggs, bread, flowers, plus live music and hot food vendors. No pets, but trained ADA-certified service animals are welcome. CalFresh EBT customers receive a market match at every farmer's market. Email info@northcoastgrowsassociation.org 441-9999 to find out more. Also on Saturday, come out for the Volunteer Trail Stewards Workday from 9 to 11 a.m. on the Eureka Waterfront Trail North, Tide Street to the Adorni Center. Meet at the corner of 1st and X Streets every third Saturday for trash cleanup, invasive plant removal, and basic trail maintenance, such as cutting back grass and shrubs to keep the trail clear. Email vtscoordinator@humtrails.org or call 707-601-7809 to find out more. Finally, on Saturday, the Bike Library is open from 12 to 4 p.m. at the Bike Library, 1286 L Street in Arcata. Get hands-on repair lessons and general maintenance, plus used bicycles and parts for sale. Donation of parts and bicycles gladly accepted. Email Arcata Bike Library at riseup.net for more information. On Sunday, February 22nd, don't miss nature journaling at the Arcata Marsh starting at 10 a.m. at the Arcata Marsh and Wildlife Sanctuary Interpretive Center, 569 South G Street. No pre-registration is required, but sessions are limited to the first 10 people. All ages are welcome if they can concentrate quietly for an extended period. Heavy rain will cancel, clipboards and colored pencils will be provided. Please bring a notebook, journal, or other paper and a writing implement and wear weather-appropriate clothing. Email info@arcadamarshfriends.org or call 707-826-2359 to find out more. Also on Sunday, stop by the community breakfast from 8 to 11:30 a.m. at the Ferndale Veterans Memorial Building, 1100 Main Street. There will be pancakes, biscuits and gravy, ham, sausage, eggs to order, coffee, and juice. On Monday, February 23rd, check out the formal dress swap from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Gene Lucas Community Center, 3000 Newburgh Avenue in Fortuna. Bring in your gently used dresses and or pick up a new one for free. You don't need to bring anything to take a new dress. Email layla@glccenter.org for more information. On Tuesday, February 24th, you're invited to the Humboldt Stamps Collectors Club from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Humboldt Senior Resource Center, 1910 California Street in Eureka. New collectors and experts are welcome. Learn about stamps, collecting, and see local experts in stamps who will share their collections. Email humstampclub@gmail.com to find out more. Also on Tuesday, it's English Express, an online English language class for adults. Build English language confidence in ongoing online and in-person classes. All levels and first languages are welcome. Join anytime and pre-registration is not required. Email englishexpressempowered.com or call 707-443-5021 to find out more. On Wednesday, February 25th, there will be a Healthcare for All and Physicians for a National Health Program meeting from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at the Creamery District, 1251 9th Street in Arcata. The meeting is available every month by Zoom. Contact healthcareforallhumboldt@gmail.com for the Zoom link and more information. To submit your nonprofit event to the KZZH community calendar, go to kzzh.accesshumboldt.net and follow the community calendar link located near the top of the page. Your event information will be read twice a day, at noon and 5 p.m. on weekdays and at noon on the weekends. Your event information will also be shared on Access Humboldt TV's bulletin board. Access Humboldt, local voices through community media. For KZZH in Eureka, I'm Isabella Vanderheyden.
rock me.
Welcome back to Franceschi Hall for the second half of Redwood Rollers versus California Derby Galaxy 79-41 at half. Here with my partner, Chakra Punch. Chakra, it couldn't have gone much better for the Rollers in the first half.
No, I was high-fiving everybody I saw and telling them what a fantastic job they are doing.
You know, I think the story of the night, what is the underlying story as we're getting started here? Old school here, straight ahead, Eco-Terrorist starting off as the jammer. Now, interesting, the second half starts with a power jam for Humboldt, and we've seen another player go to the penalty box. Destroyer turning from defense to offense and pushing the Galaxy out of the way. So here comes a scoring pass for Eco-Terrorist using Stranger Danger. Stranger doing their best to move the pack. Destroyer and Rotten Chulicor taking down Detroit Demon, who was in the box and is now out. And on a scoring pass is Eco-Terrorist. This is a perfect way to start the second half.
Ooh.
Anyway, what I was going to say is Root Force and Redwood Rollers, man, were they ready to play tonight?
Mm-hmm. They worked hard for it, and it shows.
Training camp has been excellent, as we've been told by both Sasha Thresh and by Chakra Punch and by Muscle Mommy. All said the same thing. Training camp was hard-nosed and brutal, and it has showed. Train hard, play hard. Eco-Terrorist being held up in the turn number 4. Man, when the Galaxy gets set, they are really good, but equally as strong tonight have been the Humboldt blockers. Destroyer doing a great job holding up Detroit Demon, and now the jam was called off. And you want to talk about just what the doctor ordered, an 11-0 start for Humboldt to make it 90-41. 79-41, I mean, do you feel, if you're the 41, do you feel like you're still in it?
I think so. I think if they clamped down on their defense, or their jammer got like a couple really good, like 20-point rounds, they would catch up really quickly.
But that didn't happen. Humboldt started out stronger, and you've got Cloverkill, and Cloverkill's going to go to the box, meaning power jam all the way now for Express Lane Jane and the Galaxy. And if you're talking about getting a big round, this is the place where you can do it when you're on the power jam. Whistle being blown. Let's see what's going to be called. And now on the loose in the lead jam position is Express Lane Jane, and it's going to be Sasha Thrash going to the box. What is this formation they do when they run the blockers like that?
It's a typical power jam formation to just be on standby and ready for whatever the jammer asks for. And you're also hanging back so that the jammer can push and get out of play called quickly, and the blockers have to let her go.
So Express Lane Jane getting away on the inside. I thought she was going to be pushed out by Maud Behavior, but such was not the case. And now on an 8-0 run, we talked earlier about things that the jammer has to say. I mean, you do have to call offensive plays too, though, right?
Sometimes. It's more of an understanding or agreement with your pack or your offensive person. Because typically you'll have 3 blockers on defense solely, and then one person who kind of bounces back and forth between offense and defense.
Maud Behavior, our Mad Plow, is going to be the jammer for Humboldt. That was an 8-0 Galaxy run, 90-49, and we have a timeout. You know, so you've got 3 folks that are primarily defense, and then the pivot, I guess, which is the one that can be more flexible. I see jammers come around and they're clapping their hands or pointing at me. They're calling a play, right?
That's typically a power jam situation. So they wouldn't do that in a normal lap. But clapping means chaos usually. It's like, go get them, go hit somebody, you know? And then we have other moves where we're asking them to like clear the inside or clear the outside, or sometimes you even say hole if you know that you can push those people far quickly.
When you call for chaos, are you looking for a certain blocker to make a certain block so you can make your first move inside or outside?
Chaos typically is all hands on deck. Like everyone go hit somebody, and then the jammer will use the chaos to just like weave through, hopefully.
Now, you're not always a weaver.
I am. Unless they put their bodies in front of me.
I think you're kind of both, though. I think of all the jammers I think we have in the program, I think you're the one that's the most that can do both. Like Cherry Bomber, she's straight ahead.
Yeah.
You know? And then other people are
mostly
in and out.
Avoiding.
But you can do both.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's what I've seen.
That's what I'm aiming for. I'm hoping. Like, I'm not really a spinny, evasive kind of jammer. I do a little bit of both, of pushing, but also in pushing, I lull them into a false sense of security so that then I can juke around.
Wait. No. Tell me what false sense of security they're being lured into.
Because when I'm pushing on them, they're digging and they're like really trying to hold their ground so that I can't push them out of my way. And so then if I take a step back or I like, you know, roll or something, that forces them to like cave because they've put so much of their weight.
So when you're lulling them into this false sense and you're pushing against them, are you feeling their weight and then you know which way you can go?
Yeah. And I'm testing it. I'm like, what happens if I step back? What happens if I do this? And like, if one of them works, then I go.
There you go. Now that's insight. We're here at 96.7 KZZH and Eureka Community Radio from Access Humboldt. Access Humboldt presenting the Humboldt Roller Derby. Rainbow Rocket with an in and out move and breaking free very easily. And straddling on the inside, but knocked out, and it's going to have to recycle back. And that'll happen once again. That's interesting. They let Rainbow Rocket go. I thought they were knocked out. Now Mad Plow knocked down.
I didn't see them go out of bounds, so.
So a pass has been made. Otter Pop has gone from pivot to jammer. The jam is being called off.
Otter Pop is another one of the longtime skaters who has done it all. So she's primarily a blocker now, but for a very long time, she was primarily a jammer.
There you
And
go.
so then when she takes the star, it's, easy
It's
for
old-
her.
It's like old times.
Danger is another,
Yeah, danger. 6-0 was that exchange, so 90-55. Here we are on the next jam number 4 in this half. It's Paris Knot and Silly Goose. And Silly Goose passing Sassafrash, and on the way, Paris Knot knocked out, has yet to break loose, had to recycle back. On a scoring drive is Silly Goose being pushed out. It's going to have to recycle back. It's going to call off the jam. This broadcast is underwritten by the Speakeasy Bar, New Orleans-inspired custom-built bar, seasonal craft cocktails, local fresh ingredients, live jazz, and blues music, and more, located at 411 Opera Alley in Eureka. I told Satchel Fresh this. They did a fundraiser for the people in Minneapolis, and they were serving drinks with no ice.
Wonderful.
Yeah, broadcast of Humboldt Roller Derby, supported in part by the Humboldt County Election Office. The Office of Elections, they want to remind you that to register to vote for the June 2nd primary, you have to do that by May 18th. Action happening here. Furious George straddling the line, now into that difficult defense led by Stevie Hitz. Meanwhile, great defense by Humboldt. Luc Picard laying the boom on Sailor Doom, who finally sneaks past, but runs into stranger danger. And both jammers, it's jammer on jammer. Can jammers jostle each
Yes,
other?
they can.
Well, then let's go. George, knock it down. As if hearing from the booth. What a play.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Broadcasts of Humboldt Roller Derby home games are supported in part by A to Z Eye Care, dedicated to providing the community with quality vision care through education, technology, and excellent service. Find out more at AtoZEyeCare.com. Ask and you shall receive. You know what I always told my kids? You know what you get if you don't ask?
Nothing.
Nothing. But we got something there. What a play by George. And breaking loose, Eco-Terrorist. Meanwhile, held up is Express Lane Jane. Wow, running into a wall. Scraps and Oxy Toten in that corner number 2. Finally, Eco-Terra slips through. Express Lane Jane, they're going to call off the jam. 4 points for Humboldt, 94-58. At this point, the bench, the coaches in the corner, and the jammer, I would think have to be in excellent communication, because it's okay to call off jams quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're trying to keep your lead, then you want to get your points and call it so that they don't have a chance to get points. We also have symbols, that the people at the bench, wow, are saying.
Great job by Cloverkill reading the blocks. Destroyer doing the job down under, knocking Rainbow Rocket out and then taking out the blockers. Destroyer is a force at the moment down here in turn 1. Cloverkill pushing hard. Rainbow Rocket is coming around and coming up for their opportunity to score, but they're not going to get that opportunity. They're not going to get that opportunity because Humboldt coaches are on it, and they're calling off the jam, getting that lead jam. That is the name of the game.
Seriously. And we have a person on the corner, as well as I think they do have a person on the corner who's like echoing what the bench is saying, so that if you're over here and you can't really see your bench, you can see that person.
It's Muscle Mommy. We had her on between the games. So Mad Plow gets the lead jammer. But now you have this jammer on jammer again. Silly Goose trying to hurry up. Let's see if there's any rough stuff here. Mad Plow doing a great job and calls off the jam. Mad Plow did a great job keeping Silly Goose from passing and actually wound up winning the jam 2-0, 158, 19:22 to go.
Humboldt breaking 100 now.
200 plus in the first game for Route Forest.
I know, that was
very impressive. And like we said, they had some jammers that just outmatched the quad squad's other jammers. These jammers have all been fairly good. Paris not. Do I dare say slipping through? Paris not coming in. Great move. Fake to the outside and then ridden out by number 70.
Call it.
And going to call the jam. It was 79.
It was
Detroit
a reflex.
What was a reflex?
I saw the bench coach trying to tell Snot to call it when Snot was facing that way, but she didn't see, so I was like, oh.
And
so
you called it from here?
Yes.
Wow.
And so she called it.
That is the first time ever the announcer has made a strategic play. You know, if you would have taped, you would have missed all of this. 102.58. Rainbow Rocket. Humboldt has their jammer in the box. So power jam for the Galaxy. And they need something because Humboldt has just whittled away at the clock and calling off the jams and keeping them from being able to score. Sash doing a great job keeping Rainbow Rocket out and making them recycle back, but now Rainbow Rocket breaks loose. Here comes Paris now, trying to go to the outside, but everybody's headed that way, and she's pushed out. Rainbow Rocket fighting along the jam line and they say she stayed in. Wow.
That was, it was close, but it was in.
Great job by Bianca Swagger, I thought, driving her out, but that's not the case. Meanwhile, Paris not fighting, finally getting loose, able to get away from oxytocin. Jam is going to be called. A nice little run for the Galaxies, 9-0, making it 102-67. Now, you're ahead 102-67. Can the clock not run fast enough? Is that the...
I mean, you might, if you're at 67, you would want the clock to go even slower so you have more
I understand
of a chance.
that, but you're the team ahead.
Oh, the team ahead, yeah. I mean, you're just hoping you can hold on until the end.
Is it hard to sit on a lead?
To sit on a lead?
Yeah, to work it out like this where you're milking it?
I feel like it feels good and it's invigorating.
There you go. Silly Goose is the lead jammer. And Humboldt's defense on the move trying to set themselves up. And taking on Silly Goose in the far turn, number 4. I think what we're going to have is a jam called. Let's see what the points are allocated.
They got 2.
All that for 2 points. It's a lot of effort.
That was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. 102-69. Sometimes effort is not necessarily rewarded in this sport.
I mean, when you're behind, though, every point counts. So, those 2 points, they fought for it.
Yeah, this is a good Galaxy team. This is a good test. And remember, folks, this is their B team, although this is a sanctioned bout. Eco Terrorist breaking loose. And finally breaking loose is Sailor Doom. There were people all over the ground there around the original jam. Like, great footwork. Great footwork to the outside twice by Eco Terrorist. And they're going to call off the jam. Why not? Great work. 106.70. There was a 4-1 differential there. Unbelievable as far as the incredible balance that Eco Terrorist shows. Because when you're getting hit, you're sideways and backwards, and my goodness, to be able to stay in on the rink and to be able to turn it around and score points. Great job. Cloverkill going a little straight ahead right here. And Express Lane Jane gets out. Cloverkill has that too.
Yes.
The straight ahead game and the elusive game.
Cloverkill since the beginning, because we were in training camp together. Since the beginning, bikes up mountains for miles. And so their just strength and endurance is incredible.
And have been a successful jammer for the last couple of years that we've been doing the broadcast. What an apex jump by Express Lane Jane. That's as good as it gets. And there's a smile on her face. She knows she accomplished something there. Coming back up to the pack and now calling off the jam. Let's see what the points are. Jam 13. 9-4, so it's 110.79. But Humboldt can afford to leak a little oil as they're coming home. You can't be the only one that does metaphors in this broadcast. Come in here and show me up like that. Here we go. Mad Plow and Rainbow Rocket. Rainbow Rocket, surprisingly powerful, I think.
Scrappy.
Knocked to the ground there, though. Otter Pop
Oh.
and Bianca Swagger are now sent to the box. So Power Jam, Mad Plow, they're the lead. Good news for Humboldt. Here comes Mad Plow. And driven out by number 247, Viper Active. Has to recycle back all the way beyond turn one. Wow. This is the longest recycle I've ever seen. Way back past turn 4. And now an apex jump. Take that.
Plow is the best apex jumper.
Really?
Yes. Constantly teaching the rest of us how to do it.
As if to show off the full gamut of their skill. An apex jump on one, and then straddling the outside line of the other into another apex jump. The crowd's going crazy. 8-0 on that run, but that had an apex.
12, actually.
12,
yeah.
see? That's why you talked too early. 122.79. I felt like one of those ice skating announcers. Apex jumping. A triple Lutz. Man, everything. So 11:19 to go. There's a timeout for taping. You want to run out there just to
for old time's sake?
Does it feel like you did something?
I'm doing plenty behind this microphone.
Well, you've got a career after it all. Speaking of that, how many years have you done roller derby?
Since 2008, but then minus 6 years.
So 12 years.
Yes.
And do you have a A goal for the length of a career, a 20-year
As
roller derby?
long as I can.
Yeah. And is that a common sentiment amongst the rollers?
I think so. You go until your body hurts too much or until you want your free time back.
So Silly Goose with a moving pack, and Humboldt trying not to get outskated. Wow, this is really moving. Forwards, backwards, people flying all over the place.
That was a little bit of a little taste of old school derby when we used to not be able to stop or turn around. We would just be flying around the track trying to outpace each other.
Is that because the quality of the skates have gotten better?
The rule book changed around 2012.
What about the rules change?
And they allowed stopping. They allowed skating backwards. None of that was allowed before. So
Wow.
It completely changed the game. It slowed down the play and allowed for more strategy. And I mean, the slowing down of derby is partially why I came back. Because before, when it was fast and the hits were just like insanely hard, my body was hurting.
Yeah, I bet. Do you feel like it's changed for the better?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So 122 to 83, 9:59 to go. Just under 10 minutes. And this is still a close match.
But HRD isn't letting them catch up too much.
No, great strategy. Coaches have done a great job tonight. Some nights, strategy does make a difference.
Yes.
And some nights, coaching makes the right decisions, and the decisions to call off certain jams here in the second half have been outstanding. To start the half with an 11-0 run and then be able to get the lead jammer so many times, perfect, makes strategy a lot easier for
And it's
Humboldt.
a combination of the coach's strategy, but also the blockers' defense.
Well, both teams have had tough blocking tonight. Paris Knott gets the lead jammer. And, now that we're under 10 minutes, that becomes more and more important. Paris Knott loves that head fake. People down all over the track. Oh, Paris Knott hit by oxytocin. And then breaks to the inside. Breaks to the inside and passes the entire Galaxy defense. Sailor Doom being held up. Paris Knott ridden out of bounds there by Viper Active. And now, wow, how did she get through that crowd? No one wanted to touch her.
Yeah. She was too snotty.
Too snotty. There you go. So Paris Knott doing a great job being held up now and then finally released. This is a very key. The star has been passed to Sasha DeGrader because Sailor Doom was going nowhere. Paris Knott is going to call off the jam, and this is a very timely and successful Humboldt jam. 16-0. Ouch. If you're a supernova. 138.83. Great job out of the Redwood Rollers in their opening game. Now seeing if they can control and clamp down. Furious George for the Rollers. And it looks like Silly Goose, who she's been matched up with all night. Danger and Tula holding up Silly Goose. Oh, it's Express Lane Jane, who stays in somehow. They're going to call Tula to the box. So an advantage for the Galaxy and scoring the points. Express Lane Jane, a tremendous advantage because Humboldt only has 2 skaters now, as 3 were sent to the box, including Furious George, who's released. So there was a power jam there as well. And I'll tell you what, Luc Picard and Danger, just the 2 of them, did a great job hanging in there. Kind of an Alamo situation, but they made it. Furious George knocked out.
Almost went flying, but caught herself.
8-4 on the exchange. That could have been a lot worse with 2 in the box and just 2 on the rink and a power jam.
Braun was holding the jammer by herself for quite some time there.
Great play. Great play. 6:36 to go. 142.91. A very entertaining bout. Humboldt starts in what looks like almost a rugby scrum. Eco-Terrorist breaks loose. It's Rainbow Rocket for the Galaxy, but they are held back. Eco-Terrorist gets loose and falls down, coming off a 16-0 run, and now Humboldt takes the lead. Jammer. Eco-Terrorist a little wobbly. Oh, takes a big hit from the Galaxy triad around the jam line. There's going to be Detroit Demon heading to the penalty box. Rainbow Rocket wanted to pass the star, but how do you pass the star when your pivot's been sent to the box? Now we have a power jam because Eco-Terrorist has been sent to the box. Rainbow Rocket one-on-one with Tula, but breaks loose onto the outside. We're just at the 5-minute mark, 142-91. Humboldt showing good defense, keeping Rainbow Rocket at bay. Clock running. It's the friend of the Rollers right now. Back into the action and pushing hard is Eco-Terrorist. And we haven't seen this from Eco-Terrorist yet tonight, this straight ahead hour rush, but pushing, that's got to be exhausting.
It is exhausting.
Finally ridden out is Eco-Terrorist. And the jam is called off. We're under 420 now. All of that, just 2 points.
Yep.
2 points
Wow.
for the Derby, Cal Derby Galaxy, and it's 142.93. Clover Kill, and it looks like, is that Express Lane Jane?
Or Silly Goose.
Or Silly, it is Silly Goose.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Cloverkill pushing and breaking loose. Silly Goose driven to the ground by Chowder and Luc Picard. Just some great defense out of the Rollers tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Cloverkill breaks through. This is kind of icing it right here. Cloverkill coming up for another engagement. Danger, who's always good when dropping off and playing one-on-one, making Goose work for it. Meanwhile, Cloverkill's going to call off down here in turn 2, getting knocked out and just calling off the jam, but not before scoring 7 points. 149.93. You've got 2:46 to go. Malice, Otter Pop, and
Swag.
Bianca Swagger out there. You've got Destroyer in the penalty box and Mad Plow as the jammer for Humboldt. And Mad Plow getting caught behind. Meanwhile, pushing. This is Express Lane Jane. And Express Lane Jane being defensed beautifully by the triangle of Humboldt. Boy, Otter digging and driving Express Lane Jane down. Otter Pop and Malice doing great work. Finally, Jane escapes and becomes the lead jammer. Otter Pop's going to have to come back and try to get the star from the pivot as the pivot. And nope, it's going to be Mad Plow keeping it and finally breaking loose. Recycling back in turn one is Jane. Jane gets loose. Mad Plow is driven out by Viper Active. Boy, the Galaxy really get back when they make you recycle.
Yes, they do.
Just over a minute to go. This one's going to be in the books as a roller victory. They lead 149-97. Otter Pop, Malice, and Swags doing a great job of defense. That is the classic textbook triangle defense. And time is running out in this one, under a minute to go. Otter Pop, for good measure,
still in.
takes Jane to the ground and is going to be sent to the penalty box for doing so. Mad Plow breaks loose. And an apex jump by Jane, who says, enough is enough. A 12-4 advantage, one of the better advantages of the night for the Galaxy. 153-105. What a night for Humboldt Roller Derby overall, scoring about 400 points into only about a little over 200 for their opponents. So incredible. And there's your ball game. They have to let the jam play out since it got started. So a little extra roller derby, and driven out is Rainbow Rocket, but able to come back and take the lead. Rainbow Rocket going to try to score some more just for their own self-satisfaction, I guess, because this game is over. Paris Snot, they're going to call off the jam, and it's now official. (153-107). Congratulations, Humboldt Roller Derby, sweeping the doubleheader, showing that all that hard work paid off. Outstanding.
This was a really great season opener.
One of the better season openers of all time, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, can't say I remember last year's season opener, but
Not the team historian. All right. Well, thank you very much.
thank you for having me.
I mean, it'd be great to do it again, but that means you're not playing. So
Unless I do the other game.
do the other game then. I'm going to thank our underwriters, the Speakeasy Bar, the Humboldt County Office of Elections, A to Z Eye Care, Rennie Public Law Group, Brio Cafe, Tangled Tiki. Thank you to all our underwriters. Our next event is March 14th. So only about 3 weeks. You get better.
I will try my hardest.
You'll try your hardest. And for KZZH Radio, for our broadcast engineer, Nate Dogg, our executive producer, good to see him and happy to have him back, Matt Knight. Our assistant, Eric Black, our theme music writer, Thomas Chan, and for our guest commentator, Chakra Punch, this is Paul Rousseau signing off from Franceschi Hall. Once again, the final score, Humboldt Roller Derby, the Redwood Rollers 153, the California Derby Galaxy 107. Good night, folks.
Rock me.
An exciting game. Well, thank you. Yes, this was much better this time. I'll keep my eyes peeled for this next time.
Yes.